Here we go. From the true north, strong and free Montreal, Hog Island. Canada Post. We're gonna go again, second in a row from this place, and had an interview, went well, and got a little bit of that short. I'm gonna come back for fingerprints, 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 and look at it, beautiful. Canada Post, go Canada Post, go workers of Canada Post. Thinking about you guys today at all levels. It's a 156-year-old institution, and you geese. What are you geese doing here? What are the geese doing here? What are you doing here, the geese? It is 12:58 p.m. and we're heading back. Why you hang around for Canada Post? Canada geese, Canada goose. We're gonna go back to headquarters. Rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. We're gonna go dribble overtime every time because we came back. We in liable province, so we're gonna go rock and roll by the side, by the parking lot. Go Canada, go, go Canada, go. We're gonna get it for the drill, for the love. And they're hiring, says now hiring. So Canada Post, I was referred, and gotta salute Canada Post. I respect the institution. I got some ideas, of course, for reform and have been having for 5 years. And part of my ongoing campaign as an artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist for the workers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, always. Please, Wall Street, give some charity for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, those on the road now. The truckers got to be thinking, meditating about them, and got to come back next week for an appointment for the fingerprints because we got to take that security. You know, we got to get secured liberty, and sun shining a bit on the clouds, but beautiful. Sun shone earlier. Came by bus. Now I know a little bit of that route. On Monday got it early, so that's how we're gonna go. Started with the early, and gonna come the fingerprints, and yours truly. You know, we gotta get that security and liberty. And you see the fleet here, the truck. So it's gonna give me the weekend. Today is Thursday, October 10th, and that means tomorrow is the 11th and the 12th, and the 13th on the 14th. Gonna confirm that rendezvous, that appointment for Monday in the morning. And now going back to headquarters, we're gonna go by the mountain. Ultra stable, I love that. That looks really, really red. Really red, and that yellow says ultra stable. I guess I stabilized myself with learning to manage my ASP symptoms and having Asperger's, being HFA, high functioning autism, and you know, I like that everybody was polite, and courteous there, and they gotta get it on that courtesy, and you know, sometimes we gotta be. It's not all about multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. Sometimes it's about the people on the field, you know, the farmers, the butchers, the truckers, the security workers there. You know, we got to have some security and liberty. Please give to charity, millionaires. And what a game, Habs. Last night, I never seen anything like that in my life. 47 shots. Shutout 0, 1-0, my Habs 1-1-0, 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 1-0. 47 shots against the goalie Montembeault. I saw 44 a few years back, 44 shots, but 47 must be a record. Gonna double check. And what a game. But please reduce the cost by 44.9%. Please reduce the cost by 44.5%. Please reduce the cost by 44.5%. 44.9. 44.9 I calculated. Here's the fleet. Canada Post founded 156 years ago. 156 years ago, Canada Post. So it's been a while, been a lot of changing sometimes for myself, you know. And I've been years and years, and I've been told that I have Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism, which I do. You know, I have 93% of the symptoms. I have obsessive interest. I have echolalia. I repeat things twice, 3 times. I have weird bodily gestures and movements. And you know, parallel to that, you know, there's other symptoms such as inspecting objects closely, at least those five. But there's many other symptoms, you know, of Asperger's. And as a matter of fact, in the interview, I mentioned it, and he said, "Yeah, I noticed that you were looking very closely at the paper and objects." So it kind of seems funny, but I give permission to people to laugh, rather laugh, and have a good time, you know. And my obsessive interest is geopolitics 24/7. Geopolitics, the study, the analysis of geopolitics 24/7. Dancing, fitness, sports, gridiron, football, but dancing is my favorite sport. And parallel to dancing, I gotta get that rock and roll, because those are my main obsessive interests. So that's 24/7 with yours truly. Rock and roll, fitness, rock and roll. Gotta salute the truckers on the road. Always rock and roll for the truckers, for the butchers, for those in the daycares changing some of those diapers. For those in the daycares changing some of those diapers, those in the daycares changing some of those diapers. I always gotta thinking about them, you know, and I'm all about work, albeit for the past more than 5 years, much of my work was independent, and I see that hawk. Gotta turn my head left to right here before I cross the street. See, that's a hawk, H-A-W-K. We got hawks, that's my totem bird, the hawk, that's my totem bird, the hawk, that's my totem bird, the hawk. That's my totem bird, the hawk, that's my totem bird, the hawk. So it's a good omen, because I might be employed here at Post Canada. I gotta say, the salary starts off okay-ish, you know, and you see the fleet, and I always gotta say, you know, the fleet, I gotta have an interjection, please, let's finance millionaires. Every 2 weeks, let's finance and send cards and Canada Post to the seniors, appreciation every month. To the senior citizens, appreciation every month to the senior citizens, encouraging people in public hygiene to increase in public hygiene, increase in hygiene, to increase in hygiene, increase in hygiene, public hygiene, and of course to exercise, work out and train. To exercise, work out and train, to exercise, work out and train. And here's a beautiful fleet now, blue, white, and red, and I'm gonna be learning some more. I know there's some financial difficulties, but look at these beauties. Look at the beautiful trucks. Go Canada Post, go. We got to get it for that North American collective, because I'm a Quebecer, North American, Canadian, North American, and this is my home, and all who come to join us, brothers and sisters, blacks, and from all over the world to constitute a North American collective, you know. Greater collective here as I cross the street, turn my head left or right. Just, of course, to interject, because sometimes the brakes malfunction, and of course the citizen driver might press the accelerator instead of the brake. So these are all fundamentals which one gotta be secured about and one gotta be mindful about when we travel and go down the streets, you know. Always security and liberty, my security, coupled with yours, coupled with ours. As I go back to, we're gonna go by that mountain now. We're gonna see how long it takes me to get to the mountain, because I took the compost out early, woke up early, and it's fitness, sports, fitness 24/7, and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, you know, always thinking about them. How many smelly diapers when I was there waiting have been changed since I started this video, maybe more than 44 just in the island of Montreal, 2.5 million people. And you got the bus drivers, and you got those construction workers on the cranes, Hydro-Quebec workers of the 20th century, and Asper, you know, have Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism. So I have these weird obsessive interests. And even now, when I left and I was there in the Post Canada, I was imagining, of course, geopolitics, because if you don't know, now you will know if somebody makes it this far, to, of course, work out and encourage all to work out, because fitness is also my obsessive interest, but geopolitics also is. So while I was there, I was meditating on geopolitics and defense, national defense, collective North American complex, security, defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, on mare and mask at mare. It's 24/7. I was putting it within a geopolitical context. When I was there, I was imagining, since of course, you know, you got the questions of security being a crown corporation or a corporation, public corporation, and how, of course, in the terms of conflict, open conflict, but we're not open conflict with Russia nor China, but due to several positions which have been undertaken in the past years, especially since the Russia-Ukraine situation, and of course the solidification of the relation between, of course, China and Russia haven't been solidified, and more equations and more manifestation of their solidification and strengthening of their alliance, especially in the past 3.5 years. They met several times in Russia and then in China. So it's geopolitics with yours truly 24/7, and I am an independent geopolitical analyst, theoretical analyst and theorist, and or theoretical analyst. I guess they can be interchanged, however you want to put that, but it's geopolitics 24/7. Sports, fitness, dancing is my favorite sport, rock and roll, and I admire that big building over there. That's a big transmission tower, and all those 3G, 5G smartphones go through there when they beam. Of course, some of the fundamentals are still the same, although we improved in the technology, but the cell phone, how we track it by the minuscule, and of course the micro. We gotta get it on the XYZ, we gotta get it on the XYZ, and you gotta get it for that XYZ, and that's why they gotta be doing sometimes, you know? That's what we gotta be doing on the XYZ, and that's what I say, you know, we gotta translate, and we gotta get it on the doing now, and we gotta fight racism with action, you know? I always say if I'm to put something on the table for my brothers and sisters, for blacks, 13.3, 13.4, my neighbors included, the black population of North America, put kisses, tickles, and money I don't have because I'm financially stressed, but I can put tickles, hugs, and kisses I got by the trillions, so black, white, and brown, whatever we want. North Americans unite, we made it this far together, and money I don't have, I'm myself financially stressed, but my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and thank you. I'm gonna pass now by the street, make sure of course that I pass by here correctly. When I turn my head left or right, I gotta be interjecting and watching that tower over there, you know? So that's what I gotta be doing. Been meditating 24/7 about everything that's happening now throughout the collective North American civilizational complex, and I always feel good when it's getting on the go, and it's getting on the go with now, and always thinking about the butchers, the farmers, the truckers, and Hydro-Quebec plants. I see those big I guess they're black and gray, and in a little bit of color, but for functioning properties, for the property functioning, see all those, imagine all that brains and muscle to build that. And that's how we gotta get doing with that, and we gotta get doing with the doing, you know. But those are, of course, transmission of the electricity. Civilization is a privilege. That was my thesis as the People's Doctor at the beginning of 2023. Last year I presented my thesis to the world, which is the privilege of civilization. The privilege of civilization is a privilege. Just having this, the highways, the trains, that complex there. The trucks of North American truckers, look at that beautiful blue. I don't know how his day, he needs some love. If you need a hug, hug kisses I got. And the red one, my favorite color. All the truckers now, all the highways, the security of the highways, the building of the highways, public sanitation workers of the 20th century. It's 20th century right there, you know. Now it's the 21st century, but back to what I was saying about geopolitics. You gotta understand that the month of October is the month of geopolitics for me annually. I do it on the daily because I'm an independent geopolitical analyst theorist, but October is the month where I dedicate more time and do annual revisions, annual reconstitution, annual reconstitutions, annual. So in 2019, of course, it's done daily and then weekly, monthly, but there's also an annual, right? And then bi-monthly, daily, weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, and annual, or whatever the case may be, you know? That's what we need to get going on that. So I gotta turn my head left or right here, because you never know. Gotta pass by there, you know? Gotta pass by there, you know? Gotta pass by there. You know, so that's what it is with that. And beautiful sun shining, and that's what I get it for that. And now doing a meditation, of course, on IKEA, giving a little bit of those prices, lower prices, and I'll pass by IKEA, lower the prices a little bit, roll the prices, please lower the prices and give the workers a little bit of better wages. For years I've been advocating, please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, please, for the public workers, public sanitation workers of North America, the public sanitation workers of North America, the public sanitation workers of North America. For the North American workers, North American Collective Workers Party, North American Collective Workers Party, North American Collective Workers Party. Please reduce the cost of the tickets and give some free tickets to those who pick up the garbage, the compost, the garbage. Those three services, and turn my head left and right when I cross the street here and go by the side, you know, to be on the safer side. To be on the safer side, it's always good to be on the safer side, and you know, gotta get it for that love, and gotta get it for that. I like the yellow, you know, I like yellow and blue. The combination is nice. I gotta say, I admit it, but you know, I don't get any private sponsorship at the moment. Private, and you got shopping centers here, you can come shop. Please eat only local Quebec cheese, local Quebec wine. We got so much good stuff here in Quebec, la belle province, and Quebec, Canada. We got lots of cheese, lots of wine. We got hydroelectric dams, thanks to whom I'm doing this video. Workers of the 20th century gotta salute. Workers of the 20th century, I gotta salute. I gotta salute the workers of the 20th century who build the hydroelectric dams, who build the highways. Imagine all the highways, and now we're gonna go back to that mountain, you know, my second home, and see how much it takes, and maybe Monday morning take the bus again, and then come back again 3 times. Gonna get those fingerprints and another appointment next week, because I guess it ended at 1 o'clock, their fingerprints. But back to what I was saying, of course, in terms of geopolitics, and month of October is the month of geopolitics for me. It's geopolitics 24/7. It's geopolitics 24/7, but it's geopolitics. The month of October is the month where I dedicate most of my time for geopolitics, most of my time for geopolitics, most of my time for geopolitics. So that is when I do an annual revision, and I'm marking / celebrating 5 years. 5 years. 5 years ago, in October 2019, and I got proof. I had concluded that humanity, mankind, is again set and going towards an international conflagration, towards an international conflagration. I just gotta take a minute to appreciate that beautiful truck below and above the beautiful sky. That's a nice one. Nice truck. Truckers of North America. LOV to the butchers, railway conductors, warehouse workers, the people's philosopher, the people's artist, the people's advocate. For the North American Collective, let's build our North American Citizen Imperial Coliseum. Let's build that North American Citizens Imperial Coliseum. Let's build that North American Citizens Imperial Coliseum. Let's build that North American Imperial Citizens Coliseum. Black, white, and brown, and all my brothers and sisters, North Americans unite, and all who come to join us in this new emergent civilization, the collective North American civilizational complex, the complex of North American civilization for the rebirth of North America in the 21st century. Takes a little bit of that old school, thank you. Goes on the big machines, big trucks, Cobra. Says Cobra on it. Gotta get it on that Cobra. Gotta love my brothers, and that was interesting that it said on the back of that truck, it said Cobra. And you know, some snakes, not all snakes are bad, you know. Not all snakes are bad. Sun shining, maybe that's snake of light, you know. But that one, red one, look at that beauty. It's not that great visible on the laptop, but Hey, I gotta say it for the love for the truckers, man. Truckers. Made me think of a movie from the 1980s, which I saw during COVID, and I think it had a cobra tattoo. I believe it was with Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. See, that's the mountain. That's my second home. That's where we were yesterday. See, that's the Oratoire. That's Outremont, one of the peaks. Three mountains of the mountain system. Three peaks of the same mountain. Mount Royal and parallel. You see, that's Mount Royal proper. Westmount, Outremont. Those are the three peaks. Outremont, Mount Royal, Westmount. And that's where we were, the big Oratoire. That's where we ended up with the end of the video. That's where the video ended when we went up. Remember? You check out the video yesterday. Today is October 10th. Yesterday, October 9th. And now we're going to go interject and we're going to go to the top of the Belvedere, or maybe even go back to because we went to the mountain yesterday, go to another mountain, then go to another mountain, then maybe go just by the river or go back to my headquarters. We'll see how it goes. I'm just heading back now and exercising. Had my interview and for a job, employment business opportunity with Canada Post, and I love Canada Post. Thank you, Canada Post, for doing all the deliveries, delivering all that food, delivering everything that you deliver, it's delivery. It's Canada Post, they get it on that delivery, and they get food delivered. Not that much food though. It's not food really, but it's not really food. So correction. It's envelopes and packages and more different types of mail and priority mail and all sorts of mail services. So it's something which of course I appreciate. I get my Canada Post, and it was founded 156 years ago. So it's not that new, 156 years ago. So it's a little bit old school, but it was founded 156 years ago. 156 years ago. Canada Post was founded 156 years ago. So at the beginning of Confederation, 1868, 768, right after, around the same time. So 156 years ago. So that's something to take into consideration, and something which we got to do on that meditation. And yours truly, we're going to go check out a little bit of that forest there and make sure it's not really a forest, but it's a little bit of green, like here I would love to plant 44 more trees, 44 right here, because that's my calculation, how it would be non-impeding. But of course there could be more, but I would say 44 right here, just to add a little bit. And those were planted new, see? Those were planted new, so I gotta salute those who did that work, planting those trees. It took some brains, it took some labor, and gonna go back to the headquarters, back to the headquarters. We're gonna go now. I'm gonna cross on the other side and gonna wait here prudently until they cross, and gonna get it for that old investment. Wow, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. And that's what it is with that. And we gotta cross here, interject, and I'm gonna cross now. I'm just gonna go check out the garden a little bit here. See a little bit of that flora, fauna, See what it is with that, and see what is going here. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of a nature reserves here, right in the midst of the highways. Oh, we can go by this side. Oh, it's nice. Oh, don't leave trash, people. Need some cleaning. Dancing Goddess Army. Priestess gonna send some thunder. It's not that messy, but it's kind of nice. Here you can work out, train, exercise, have a picnic. Hey, that's the thing about Montreal, aka Hawk Island Metropolis, is that in Hawk Island, Montreal, HEWK, you have this green space. We have this green space. So green space is right on Metropolis. It's an island surrounded by a big river. North American Nile, Snake River. That's Cobra. I call it River of the Cobra. Cobra River. Cobra River, is that Cobra River. So you got to get it on the go, you got to get it on the now. And that's what we got to get it on the now as we go, And you see a little bit of that and a little bit of this. And now you see it on the interjections, which, see, I got to salute. I got to salute those who build. Beautiful. I love it. Look at that. Thank you, Hydro-Quebec. Hydro-Quebec, those we take for granted. 20th century still takes a little bit of that old school. That's why you got power. That's how you can power your laptop, power your smartphone, play games, do business, conduct business online. It's not all about take some of that old school. Take some of that old school, brothers and sisters. Takes a little bit of that old school with the new to dance together, It's not all about new, and here we're exploring a little bit. Oh yeah, I like it. Kind of greenery, but watch you, see those branches falling. So in the midst where you got that urbanization and yes, crows. I love you too. I love my crows, and I love cobras, snakes, and spiders. And the sun shining. They say they know my secrets. Yes, I got a tiny scars. I got lots of scars. Rah. Got that retrograde amnesia, and survived COVID. Have suffered, been depressed, been suicidal when I crossed Canada coast to coast. 7 years ago, crossed Canada coast to coast. 7 years ago, 2017, August, September, celebrating that when I got out of being depressed and those 555 crows now. What? Yes, I love you too, baby. Whoever loves me, love you. Play that black and white and rainbow. Do some kisses I got by the goddess. And the sun's starting to shine. That's my king, the Pope, and I guess it's gonna shine. Maybe we're gonna have to put on the jacket away soon when I get a little bit further down, see if it gets hotter, because it was 6 degrees when I left. And here in Montreal, Hawk Island, HAWK, some of those beautiful yellows. I love yellow flowers. Everybody got secrets. No need to spy on me. Secret services of China, 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 Secret Services of Russia, Secret Services ties are gone after 1989. Mossad, whatever the case may be. Don't need to cross the ocean, don't need to cross the ocean. The Atlantic to the east, the Pacific to the west, coast to coast Dragon Army Initiative. Security, defense, and purpose, and some nature and civilization by that DGA. That's my dream. Laying the foundations with trillions of kisses. Trillions. I said trillions. A trillion has 12 zeros, as a billion has 9. So anybody wants some of that accreditation of kisses, support Build the 3. I will to build 3 buildings, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple. That's what I will to build with a scarlet, red, crimson, red, scarlet, crimson, red, scarlet. The pyramid. House of the Dragon in the scarlet, crimson way, and scarlet is a shade of red as crimson is. So right there where you see the mountain, and the mountain we can see it from far off. The mountain we can see it from far off. The mountain we can see it from far off, So heading towards the mountain now and heading towards my headquarters and meditating, of course, on civilization, nature, everything, of course, within the context of me being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, which loves fitness, loves sports, loves to matchmake, loves that rock and roll, and got love for the world. I can be international, universal, but this is my home here in Montreal. In past lives, I believe in reincarnation, so I'm a weird mystic with Asperger's, HFA, high-functioning autistic, but, I'm great at poetry, great at rock and roll, and actually geopolitics, I'm great among great because that's my obsessive interest, so I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, and I predicted 5 years ago what's happening now in a general manner, not in an overall manner. So not with every detail, but in a manner of which is congruent to what's happening now. I predicted it back in 2019. I predicted an international conflagration. So May created and designed and produced a workout training program system made designed to go hand in hand with such a scenario. such as we're seeing now, that's unfolding in the world. What's unfolding in the world now is my scenario, of course, which I predicted. Back in 2019, my prediction, of course, was that there were going to be an international conflagration. I'm just going to look a little bit at that. What is that? That is a Bentley. Now I put that into the context of geopolitics. If that is something that's fundamental for the security, sanitation, fundamental of Montreal continuity, I'm not sure if it produces water because we got the water fountains, but maybe it has something to do with water, or maybe now it's just for show like that. But anyways, you know, when I march, I put the highways, I put the trees, I put everything within a security defense analysis as an independent citizen who believes liberty got to be secured for the collective, to give some charity. And I'm not totally selfless. I play that rainbow. I'm not totally selfless. You know, I don't make pretense to be. Totally without fault. Totally without lusts or desires, you know. I'm androgynous, pansexual, and that's it with that rock and roll. I like my BDSM switch. You want to make some of that good rainbow, black and white loving with your stoolie rainbow dragon? Well, just ask. I got refuse none policy, refuse none policy, refuse none, and always for the workers, you know. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the truckers on the road, those in the making some cheeseburgers, some hamburgers, those making some of those cooking classes, in the learning how to make cheese, learning how to make wine. It's something which I admire. I salute construction workers on those cranes, building some buildings. I see that plane in the sky, always admire the aviation workers, you know, building those planes. Canadian Armed Forces, to my brother Bill Blair, brother Bill Blair, of course. There's something which I've got to be saying to brother Bill Blair, that we got to put on a little bit of a changing of the diapers. Changing of the diapers as a protocol should be initiated. If you want to put on a uniform for the defense, and this applies to NORAD, NATO, if you want to put on a uniform, looks like a military craft. Is that a military craft? Not sure, but it looks nice. Anyways, we should implementing, and of course be implementing. Oh, that's Canada Air. It's civilian. Nonetheless, should be implemented. Should be implemented. You know. Should be implementing the changing of the diapers before you put on a uniform as an act, as an event, as an activity, which would be a must, because you're not mercenaries, we're not mercs, you know, we're not mercenaries. I don't want anything to do with mercenaries. Mercenaries can stay over there in the Atlantic. Mercenaries can stay over there in the Atlantic. Mercenaries can stay over there in the Pacific. Mercenaries can stay away from us, North Americans, and want nothing to do with mercs. I don't want nothing to do with mercs. Gonna get that defense, coast to coast defense, coast to coast defense, coast to coast. And that's my Dragon Army public-private partnership call to all, which is fundamentally my dream manifesting as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. My dream basically is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex, across the collective North American civilizational complex, across North America. Beautiful. Truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match. Challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match for the workers of North America, you know. And as an ASPE, you know, we do not understand gossip, and we do not understand necessarily attacking a person like that. We tend to resolve situations by face-to-face and negotiations and face-to-face and discussing in a face-to-face manner where we can resolve conflicts peacefully, or of course challenging to a duel if so the case may be, in a sportsmanlike manner, you know. And that's why we got UFC and we got sports, combat sports and stuff like that. And dancing is my favorite sport, but I play that hard dragon defense. I play that hard dragon defense. Play that hard dragon defense, and you know, I have lots of scars and have blackouts of memory. Retrograde amnesia. Because I remember being attacked by surprise a few years ago. I was surprise attack. I'm retrieving the medical papers from retrieving the medical papers. I'm waiting for them. I requested the archives. So I was a surprise attack a few years ago, and of course I fell, had a concussion, and then I had a dislocated shoulder, and the dislocated shoulder was replaced, and then I was out for a few days. So basically I had a Cillian pirate episode. The Cillian pirate episode. So sometimes I am hyper vigilant, you know. I have that vigilance, but I only play that defense. So that's the important to make note that sometimes, of course, I put in the context of the North American civilizational complex. Everything that's transpiring now, like that truck, those truckers, and now meditate on the highways, you know, in terms of a war, an invasion by foreign armies, because we got involved in conflicts, and as much as I know the ideologies, the propositions, and the philosophies of Putin's Russia, Xi Jinping's China, fundamentally, whether I take any position, it's matters not that much, because fundamentally I am a North American. My ideas, propositions, initiatives are for the collective North American civilization, for what I call the North American civilizational complex and North America. Because I am North American, Canadian, Quebecer, as much as I can be a world advocate for world peace advocate. Montreal's really all I really know, although when I go, for the past more than 7 years, when I went on that flash, I get those flashes on the mountain of reincarnation, just read Through a Glass Darkly, one of my favorite poems by George Patton. Through a Glass Darkly by George Patton, one of my favorite poems is Through a Glass Darkly by George Patton. One of my favorite poems is Through a Glass Darkly. Through a Glass Darkly. George Patton's Through a Glass Darkly. He believed in reincarnations, but he doesn't state that he was born a woman, although me, in my past life, sometimes I was born a woman, a man, a woman and a man. You get that 50-50 now? 50-50 now? 50-50? I am androgynous, you know, 50-50. Rainbow Dragon Priestess, so the goddess G-O-D-D-S-S. That's that with that, but George Patton was born a woman, and I served. He was in ancient Rome as a captain of legions. I had those five arrows like that, as a captain of the legions, and he was my wife. George Patton was born ancient Rome, but we had a bizarre lifestyle because I was bisexual and we were openly promiscuous. It was a different type of marriage. I'm not gonna go into that. Although I was a captain of the legions back then, there was some joy of cuckolding. Just as if I would marry somebody in this life, would probably be a joy of cuckolding as well, you know. Once a week. Now that you know that already, Secret Services of Russia, Secret Services of China, Secret Services of Russia. We need to rebuild a lot of infrastructure. See, doing a little bit of analysis now from a geopolitical perspective is defense. You know, my initiatives protocols are for defense security service, and Canada Post play an integral part in that philosophy. And you know, I can serve, and you know, yesterday I was a bit moody. I really wanted to be massaged, and it's been years. I been craving a massage on my fitness journey. When I started 2017, lost between 80 and 93 pounds. So I was really craving a deep tissue massage, you know. But you know what? Firefighters, finance dumb millionaires, billionaire, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, finance the firefighters, finance the truckers, finance the nurses, the firefighters, farmers, finance them a massage therapy session. You know, they deserve it, and they earn it more than me. They earn it more than me, you know. And looking at the infrastructure, I always make an analysis in the conjunction with my DRT theory, the financial DRT theory, of how we have to rebuild. There's a lot of infrastructure which we gotta rebuild. Like this one doesn't look, you know, it looks like it needs some work, and it seems like there's some work beginning there. Seems like that. Maybe some work is beginning on that, but seems like there's some work is there. But I still gotta be grateful and salute just to build the highways in the 20th century. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, eh? Most of it dates from more than 44 years. So most of our infrastructure, with the exception of a few bridges which were built now, of course, a few bridges built now recently. There's a few, of course, which were, but making an analysis, how we do to finance it, to rebuild it. We'll do a lot of rebuilding to do. We'll do a lot of rebuilding to do. A lot of rebuilding to do. A lot of rebuilding to do. A lot of rebuilding. All that. So there's a lot of infrastructure to be rebuilt. There's a lot of work. Making an assessment, making an assessment, making an assessment, making an assessment. You know? Making an assessment, making an assessment. Making an assessment. This whole, it's a lot of work. A lot of work here needs to be done. So making an assessment, this will be probably in the millions just to rebuild the infrastructure of North America. Right? So how we would do it now, and I put it now in the context with the highways, with the city of Montreal, metropolis, 2.5 million people, island of Tolima, in case of a geopolitical catastrophe, nuclear war. Well, my theory, my propositions, my World War III scenario was not about nuclear war back then in 2019, but I left open mark the question, and I left it open, and of course it was about bacteriological bioweaponry use. So in my scenario of 2019, there was the use of bioweapons, of bioweapons, of bioweapons, of my bioweapons, of bioweapons, you know, of bioweapons, you know, of bioweapons. Biological weaponry. So we need to rebuild a lot of infrastructure, you know, a lot of infrastructure. We need to rebuild a lot of it here. See? All of this here. All of it. Lots of it. Saluting my fellow citizen there, Bus drivers, butchers, bakers, nurses, and now heading back to headquarters, you know. But it's a bit polluting side here, so I'm gonna make an assessment. We're gonna go from deep civilization and 2.5 million people in Metropolis Island. We're gonna go get it on that go get it on the go, and that's how we gotta go get it on the XYZ, and gotta go get it for that drill, for that drill, for that drill, for that drill, for that drill. Gotta go get it for that drill. So anyways, here we go. They're rebuilding, so I gotta salute. That's labor, man. Gotta salute. They're doing a little bit of work. It's work, man. North Americans, and stay safe, get back home safe, and make some loving. Black, white, and rainbow. Workers of North America, We gotta do it on that grill. We gotta do it on that grill, man. Gotta salute, man. Workers there, you know, it's hard labor. Please give them a little bit of charity, and business. They're working, so bravo, black, white, and rainbow, whoever you are. And the cross. So they're doing, you know, it's labor, man. Gotta be redone, and they're the ones doing it, so that's hard labor there with the tools and the machines and whatever that is, and we gotta get it for that work, and we gotta appreciate them. That's hard work, man. Imagine all the workers of the 20th century. All this is a privilege. Brains and muscles to build all this and build highways like this across North America. But look, we need that DRT. We need to rebuild the North America, man. North America, black, white, and rainbow. My black brothers and sisters, 13.3, 13.4%, you know. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA. Give the public workers like that, those who pick up the trash right there, public workers, give them a discount, give them a discount. Give them some free tickets. See that big truck? They're athletes as well. Come NFL, let's go NFL, National Football League, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Give them some tickets to North America who pick up the garbage. Gotta salute, see all the railroad conductors, and we gotta appreciate labor, man. North American workers, unite. I'm an independent worker, I rock and roll for them. Stay safe. Stay safe. Safety and work and liberty and joy. And get back home safe, make some good loving. And gotta salute, man. Gotta salute the workers. That's work right there, see? So that's work they gotta do, and it's for the safety of North America, you know? So I gotta appreciate that, man. Gotta appreciate that labor right there, man. That's work, man. Building all the infrastructure, the farmers, the truckers, the butchers, you know. It's all we see for years and years and years in my marches, you know. So many we don't see behind the scenes. So I gotta love them, black, white, and rainbow, appreciate it. We gotta get that North American Collective Workers Party. North American Collective Workers Party. We gotta get the North American Collective Workers Party. We gotta get the North American Workers Party, Collective Workers Party. You know, that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So we gotta get doing on that, and they gotta get it on the do, and you know, the firefighters, butchers, bakers, and those truckers on the road, workers here, labor, North American Collective Workers Party. We gotta get that centrism. Pro labor and love, universal revolutionary centrism. Pro labor and love, universal revolutionary centrism, you know. Being an ASPE, I have neurological diversity. I'm neurodivergent, so my neurodivergence makes me predisposed to obsessive interests, you know. But I have my empathy and compassion, because some people mistake Asperger's with not people with Asperger's who have HFA like myself with not being compassionate. It's not that. It's that we show it by action. So today, if I would be, I'm financially stressed. But if I would be having now millions and billions, ain't no way that I would not finance. I would not give to charity. I would not finance Halloween candy. I'm just going to my Dragon's Lair and lost much employment during COVID, and I had like 5 jobs during COVID, but only for a few months, a few weeks, because I work in different domains, and you take some softness and understanding and loving care, and I can do that as much as I can do strength. We cannot base everything on strength. We cannot base everything on strength and force. We have to have complementary values that are complementary to strength and force and aggression. Violence, it has to be channeled. Do workout, train, exercise, we got to mass finance. Citizens to work out, to train, to exercise, we got to mass finance. Citizens to work out, train, exercise, you know, we got to get that love in that. Sometimes we got to nullify that ego, and gossip is something we don't understand, you know. We don't understand. Gossip is something we don't understand. It's something which makes us, we understand it from a ASPE perspective, you know, from an ASPE. We don't understand it from a neurotypical perspective. neurotypical perspective. So we don't understand it from a neurotypical perspective. We understand it from an Asperger's perspective, and basically that it doesn't bring solutions. So we rather just discuss it with all parties and find solutions, whatever it is. In all matters under the sun, freedom is new, Mr. Solomon. Under the sun, freedom is new, Mr. Solomon. There's so many things I don't know, so many things I'm mediocre at, average, so. But the butchers, the bakers see you saw all the tools. And across North America, there's power tools, there's soft tools, there's changing of the diapers. It takes all consciousness from the ground up to the sun, from the ground up as I've been in the past years and still am. Financially stressed 10,000. And thank you to my anonymous friend. If I make $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, deserves to be 7 times richer than Oprah, 7 times richer than Beyonce, 7 times richer than Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie. 7 times richer than Meg Thee Stallion, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Oprah, Lady Gaga, 7 times richer. My anonymous friend, if I make $1 million, I'm gonna give half 50-50 because it wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. And I got a lot of myself, hurdles and obstacles and bureaucracy and propositions, proposals, and very little feedbacks and support and lots of misunderstandings. But I've been told for years and years that I have Asperger's, being Aspie, and HFA, high functioning autism, and that of course is a neurodivergence. So my neurodivergence, HFA, makes me predisposed to obsessive interest. My trinity is geopolitics, 24/7 sports, fitness, and I gotta love me some of that yellow. Geopolitics 24/7, sports and fitness, and rock and roll. It is not all about Wall Street. Please give to charity. Give to charity. If you make $1 million today buying, selling future option puts, give to charity 10%. 10%. 10% of $1 million is 100,000. 100,000. You can divide it by 4 different cases, 4 different causes. You can give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for environmental issues, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for environmental causes, 25,000 for LGBT causes, 25,000 of course not only for that, but 25,000 you can give it. You can give 25,000 for food security, women's sports leagues, dancing, whatever. Of course, women's sports leagues, food security, environmental causes, and of course LGBTQ causes. LGBTQ causes, women's sports leagues, food security, environmental causes. Don't be so selfish, Don't be so selfish. And now the sun's shining, and yes, I have darkness, but darkness in the sense that, I have a weird sexuality, and I like my BDSM switch and play that rainbow. I'm androgynous, pansexual, but in geopolitics, I predicted 5 years ago, 2019, what's unfolding now in a general manner, based on my analysis, which I'd concluded that mainly the fact that in the 20th conflicts from the 20th century, which civilization, nation states, regions have, is going to be a continuity, is going to be a re-intensification, and those conflicts are going to continue and re-arise from the 20th century. And much of what we see now, Russia, Ukraine, Europe, is due to that 20th century, from the Soviet Union era, which the Cold War lasted for 44 years and 9 months, 44 years and 9 months, 44 years and 9 months, for 44 years and 9 months, 44 years and 9 months. I gotta salute the cargo. Those carrying the cargoes, and the transportation truckers gotta cross now safely. There's the warehouse workers. Kind of like me a little bit of that truck there. It's kind of low. Kind of low there. It's low cut, but it's kind of mystic, almost a bit retro, but with a modern flair. A bit retro, kind of like it. Was smaller, but probably as powerful. It's not the size, all that, but thinking about sizes, I got a little Clit, dick, dick, clit, dick, clit. I got that 50-50 little scar, and I have scars I scratch, and that's it. That's all healed. Survived COVID 2020, February, March. That's gonna be 5 years and 5 months. When October, November, December, January, February, March, February, March. So in 5 months, I'm gonna be marking 5 years already since I survived COVID, and you know we're on the verge maybe of nuclear war now. Nuclear war. Maybe on the verge of nuclear war. So we gotta be component of that. We gotta be thinking about the possibility, and how, of course, I've been writing tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, theoretical analysis on different USB keys, USB keys, which of course have been discussing lately. And part of those are for the Defense Security Service of the North American Civilizational Complex, the complex of North American civilization. In the terms of the complex of North American, to be safeguarded in case of a thermonuclear war. For the collective, I've written tens of thousands of pages, different USB keys, part of my analysis and continuing philosophies, because I am a philosopher, North American, Quebec, Canadian, North American philosophy. Here we made great reconciliation with my brothers and sisters, natives. We continue to do so with my black brothers and sisters, black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, and brown. And all who come North America, you know, a diverse collective. Let's get that North American Collective Workers' Party. North American Collective Workers' Party, that North American Collective Workers' Party. We need to get coast to coast united and create two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. The Dancing Goddess, DGA, and the Dragon Army. The Dragon Army, North American Citizen Integrated Security Service and Defense for that public-private partnership, support a dream. My dream is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex. And as the sun's starting to shine a little bit stronger, I guess over there we're gonna take off the jacket, because now it's getting a little bit of that more heat. So I'm already on the sweat because I got that backpack and it's already got a few, like 39 pounds. So putting the bag's gonna be like more than 44, you know, adding plus that 5. So it's always constant meditation. Even now, you know, that's the thing with Asperger's. It's geopolitics 24/7 in my mind. Now when I'm marching for years and years and years, I put it within the geopolitical context of the day. And the fact is that now today, the situation is unraveling, unfolding in a parallel, general, not overall, very detailed manner to what I had predicted in October 2019, and I got proof. I got proof of that work. I got proof there. My first workout training program system video, of course, which I've created, was of course back in 2019 in October, and gotta get it for that October workout training exercising. Of course, had, of course, myself created that workout training program system to go hand in hand, of course, with a World War III scenario, and of course had concluded back then in a general manner, of course, that humanity is set again towards an international conflagration, And so I created that workout training program system. General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army, an efficient, effective training program system, which is designed, created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You know, many nuclear weaponry, nuclear weapons and ICBM rockets, standing for intercontinental ballistic missiles, were created during the more than 44 years and 9 months, 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 almost 45 years, between 1947, March 1947, March 1947, 9 March 1947, and 1991, December 1991, December 1991, December. So almost 45 years, 44.9 years. That's a lot, 44. Yeah, between March 1947 and December 1991, that was the duration of the Cold War. And the ICBMs can travel, the YARs 24, they can travel 10,500 miles, kilometers, correction, kilometers, not miles. Miles, that would be, I don't think there's any ICBM which can travel that far. Maybe those who will be launching outer space, but not ICBM rockets. Intercontinental ballistic missiles designed mostly for weaponry, starting with Jack Parsons, and the JPL, and before and produced afterwards, and now of course updated in the 21st century, you know. So that's what we got to do with that. That's what we got to do with that. And of course, we got to interject that they can travel 10,500 kilometers from Montreal to Moscow. It's 8,500. So do the math. 10,500 minus 8,500. That's 2,000. So that leaves that they can actually travel all the way to the internal Canada. Maybe Ontario go the way all to Manitoba, you know, all the way all to Manitoba, all the way all to Manitoba. So here on the island, you know, here on the island, gotta get on the island towards the sun now, and they can travel. So I think it's gonna take them off. They're not gonna be. Wow, that's nice. If they're launched, they're not gonna. It's gonna take a while to reach. It's not gonna be instantaneous, right? It's not like the undersea cables connecting the internet infrastructure in a parallel life. I'm a super scientist, technologist, and technology, science, mathematics, logic, everything to do with nuclear physics and physics. I also have Asperger's. I'm also HFA, high functioning autistic, and in that parallel timeline life, parallel to this one, I design, create supercomputers, microchips, ICBM rockets, satellites, and antennas, and I built Skynet, type of Skynet robotics. Join Germany, United States, Canada. Join Germany, United States, Canada. German, United States, Canada. Join NORAD, NATO, technology for defense, security, and service, supercomputers. I built 44 not just myself, with other scientists, 44 supercomputers, and of course telecommunications in Germany, United States, and Canada. Canadian, German, NORAD, NATO base, basically North America, Europe, Western Europe, North America, and Eastern Europe, and undersea cables connected, of course, with a sphere of 93 satellites resolving from the sun and the moon, solar fusion. And I built that in a parallel with other scientists, but I was one of the top 7 scientists. I am in that parallel line, that is, in that parallel life. And you know, in this life, geopolitics 24/7, nobody dances like yours truly. Geopolitics, dance, and fitness, sports, dancing, fitness, sports. Geopolitics, dancing, fitness, sports. Geopolitics, dancing, fitness, sports. Geopolitics. I predicted what's happening now 5, and I'm asking the binding the dream to be financed, public-private partnership to build North American NORAD, NATO, North American Dragon Army, more satellites, and build centers of supercomputers where we can got webcams in the public to monitor 24/7, monitor the activities, highways, security, highways, encouraging people to work out, train, exercise. And you see, that's that mountain there, the oratory. So that's where we are now today, and that's why we're gonna go drill it on that. Now we're gonna put it in the backpack, and we have to discuss that DRT, the depth fusion theory for the creation of the UE. I'm gonna see what I got in the pocket and stretch a little bit here. Oh, looking like some clouds, but I guess it's okay. Got it in the pockets. Whoop. Got it in the pockets, got it in the transversal, got it in the transversal, and got it in the pockets. And that's why we go to the under now. That's why we go to the under now. And here we are. Let me check, because I'm supposed to get some fruits. Got some fruits. Got an orange. Thank you. I guess it's from Florida, maybe. How's that, Florida? Got to salute Florida. Gonna do an event for them, Florida coming up on the menu. Love you, Floridans. Love you, USA. Was born 3 times in the United States. 2 times as a man, once as a woman, 3 times between 1776, 156 years apart. Served in 2 different wars in the United States. So, gotta get that drill now. Gonna put it right here and put it on the grill. Gotta get it on the go now and get it on the go for the Gold Coast. Gotta go to that mountain. Gotta go to that mountain. Somebody twerking now, dancing, hugging, that gives me hope, you know? It's not all about fight. Takes a little bit of that little... Takes a little bit of that LOV, you know, we gotta get it on the drill now, so... It's always interjection, it's always getting on the go, getting on the now, and making sure we got that collective, making sure we got that collective North American complex. And there we go, put it in, and gonna get a little bit of that hydration. Let's go. We're gonna drink it all, refill it over there, because we gotta get that drink, man. It's already been an hour on the march. We gotta get hydrated. Let's go, Dragnami, hydrate. Gotta get it on that hydration, and that's why we're gonna get that interjection. And there we go, we put it on the backpack, and we rock and roll with it, and that's why they're gonna go got that rock and roll, you know. So here we go, getting on the buns. Somebody changed some diapers. When I did that, the 44 diapers were changed throughout the island metropolis of Montreal, just when I was there for like more than 5 minutes, maybe more than 5 minutes. More than 5 minutes was that. That's kind of nice. Well, if you finance me food security, you know, it starts with the farmers and food producers, then I'm willing to eat. I don't gotta eat meat all the time, not all the time, and I could go without meat actually, and could give me some of that good hazelnuts and nuts and oranges, and give me some of that salad, give me some of that bread, give me some of that butter dough. But yeah, if I'm being financed, you know, sure. Yeah, play that rainbow, but I'm a centrist, pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrist. Pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrist. Pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrism. My centrism is tied hand in hand with my trinity of theories, of which now I will to discuss the DRT, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. Super important, the DRT is the only financial theory, of course, which can save us now from where we are in terms of the public finance. So the public financial system now, much of it, of course, also the private. Because I'm in debt, $10,000. I got $10,000 in debt. But of course, the total debt of the public Canada is much in the trillions, billions, and now we pay 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. That's how much we pay. 46.5 billion. That's how much we pay in interest. 46.5 billion in interest. That's the amount of interest we pay. 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 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. That's 46,000 million. That's how much it is. That's 46,000 million. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. That's how much it is. Paying the interest this year, of course. In 2020, 2021 fiscal year, it was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion. So it went. Of course, due to COVID, we had to implement the protocols of COVID to salvage, help a population in dire need, economically, financially, commercially, due to the unprecedented health crisis, which I had COVID. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. I know it sounds like a hardcore metal song, rock and roll metal, hard metal, death metal, you know, from the 80s or even recently, but that's how I felt in 2020, February, March, and I thought I was gonna die. In many ways, I did die. Nothing that I want to go back to. I just remember, you know, I used to live over there, but then a moldy place, I remember that surprise attack, and went to the hospital, then had my arm, and then dislocated, then I was out for a few days, my Cillian pirate episode, and then I moved. 2017, I got out of the depression when I crossed Canada coast to coast, and I now present to you the solution, paradoxically, to the table. The DRT, debt refusion theory. D stands for debt, R stands for refusion, T stands for theory. So we're gonna have to take But first, the motive again, that why my statement is that is the only solution is due to the fact that we now pay 46.5 billion in interest, 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 46.5 billion in interest. That's the amount of interest we pay. So that's 46,000 million. That's 46,000 million. 46,000 million. That's how much it is. It's 46,000 million. It's 46,000 million. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. A billion is a 9 zeros. A billion is 1,000 million. 1 billion is 1,000 million. 1 billion is 1,000, not 100. 1,000. So that's a billion. That's how much a billion is, right? It's not a million. A billion has 9 zeros. So in 2020, 2021, we paid 20.3. 20.3. 20.3. 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion. That's 2020, 2021, 2020, 2021, 20.3 billion. 20.3 times 2 would have been 40.6, 40.6, 40.6, 40.6, 40.6, 40.6. Now it's 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion. Imagine that. That is more than double in 3 years, again due to COVID. So my brothers and sisters, that is the motive. That is the reason why I make the statement, and I know it to be a fact. There's no other solution now where we are today but my DRT theory, D for debt, R for refusion, T for theory. And keep in mind and know that my DRT theory also includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union, in the European Union, in the European Union. So in the European Union, the Germans, they got rid of the Deutsche Mark, with the central bank, they destroyed it. The Italians, they got rid of the lira, they destroyed their central bank. The French got rid of their franc, and they destroyed their central bank. 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 They destroyed their central bank, right? And they created a new bank, the ECB, European C Central Bank, to issue a new currency called the euro. That's what they did. It began in the 50s, the gradual economic integration, as it's the international finance theory of monetary integration, of international finance theory, monetary integration. So they did it in the 90s, decades ago. But it started earlier, but it gradually moved. So they now have a central bank. Many, not all countries in Europe, but many European countries, more than 25, right? They no longer have their central banks as before. They no longer have their central banks as before. They do not have anymore the central banks. Now they have a common bank, the ECB, a common central bank. Economic, European, E for European, E for European, the European Central Bank, the ECB. So they have now established the ECB in the 90s, decades ago, and they created a new currency. That currency is called the euro. The euro. That's what they did. They created the European Central Bank. And of course, the European Central Bank issues a new currency. The currency is the euro. Anyways, so they created the ECB, the European Central Bank, to issue a common currency. Well, it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyways, the ECB, the European Central Bank. The ECB, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the ECB, which issues the euro, the ECB issues the euro, European Central Bank. Here I'm going to go by the side and just wanted to take a look at those beautiful flowers. So I'm going to continue discussing the DRT. It's important because it's the only solution. I mean, you can argue left, right, and center all you want. You can argue left, right, and center all you want. Left, right, and center. That's the only solution. Today there's no solution other than my DRT theory. I clearly believe it. Clearly believe it. There's no other solution. You can argue left, right, and the center, and to the left, back again, to the center, back again, in the right and in the center, but the DRT is the only solution with the public finances due to the fact that we pay 46.5 billion in interest. So that is the solution. And myself, I focus mostly on solutions for myself. Fitness, working out, does become joyous. The sun, the mountain makes me joyous, brings me some happiness, joy, and I am financially stressed myself. I am financially stressed, yes, but rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food, got orange, got some wafers. The prices of wafers increased 25%, but they're still good. For 175 grams, they're 125, so they were $1. But 2 weeks ago, the prices increased. I was hoping for a 10 cents increase, 15 max, but they went for 25. But see, it adds up because all the increases, that's 25%. Because if it was $1 5 weeks ago, it was $1. 2 weeks ago, it's $1.25. It increased by 25%. 25 cents doesn't seem like much, but if it's per dollar, it's 25%. But all of them, right? At all the grocery store, which are a big grocery store clerk, grocery store chain, a grocery store chain, they have it. So all of it increased. So, but the question is, where did the prices increase? Did it increase by the transportation costs? Did it increase because of where it's supplied? And it's imported. This one's imported. I like to buy a lot of local. This one's imported from Europe, from Italy. From Italy. But it's still a good price. But if it goes up to 150, then anyways, it finally went up. I was wondering, when is it gonna go up? Since COVID, I watched 2020, it stayed the same, 2021, 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024. 2 weeks ago it went up. 5 weeks ago it was still $1. So it took some time. Sun shining, gotta salute my King the Pope, who now rises and now sets. Gotta salute my King the Pope, who now rises and now sets. Gotta salute my King the Pope, who now rises and now sets. Gotta salute my King the Pope, who now rises and now sets. And I gotta be grateful, and although financially stressed, you know, going to the mountain, got my underground lair, and got those clouds, and whoever wants to make me some love where thou will, how thou will, where thy love with consent, hug like you never hugged before, and saw people elderly and like holding hands, some people being very nice to each other, and words of gratitude and thankfulness, and being grateful and appreciating some good deeds and good relations in the workplace. And we have myself frustrated, was depressed, suicidal, and lost employments, you know, because most likely due to Asperger's. And for years and years I've been told you have HFA, high functioning autism, which I have. Asperger's, aka HFA, high functioning autistic. So aka Asperger's. I'm an Aspie. But in the past 45 months, I learned to manage my symptoms. Because there's no medication for Asperger's. I have to manage my symptoms. 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 And you see, I'm looking at that construction work. Looking at that construction work, I'm always trying to meditate, to put it in the context of geopolitics. What are they carrying? How long are they carrying? What are they carrying for that? Where do they go? And the cranes, of course. Look at all these here, see? Wow. Anyways, so I'm going back to my headquarters and gotta get that interjection for that, and gotta get for that interjection for the love, and they gotta get it for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, for the doctors, and for all those who cook now in the cooks. You know, it's not all about me. And I passed by there, I had a little bit of lustful thoughts, you know, because I play a rainbow, so I was imagining I had like a good loving Pride Parade style, but sun is shining, and gotta channel it, you know, sexuality. It has to be channeled, you know, sexuality has to be channeled. Sexuality has to be channeled. Sexuality, just like strength and force, has to be channeled, you know, has to be channeled. Because if we repress it, will make me sick, will make us sick and ill and disease. If we repress it, we're gonna be sick, you know. So just ask if you want to know. I don't want to put in OnlyFans, but my OnlyFans will be I dance naked, and $1 million to dance my first naked dance. Gonna give $500,000, half of that, 50% to my anonymous friend buy a house. So I can dance naked for $1 million. I can dance naked for $1 million. The DRT, death refusion theory, is the only solution. And oh, it's kind of gray here. Kind of gray here, you know. So being that it's kind of gray, you know, I gotta put a little bit of paint. I wish it would be painted here. Painted some blue and white or red. Painted some blue and white or red. Painted some blue and white or red. Painted some blue and white or red, you know. And this is new in my neighborhood. These buildings were not built 5 years ago. They were built mostly during COVID. I kind of like a little bit of color. It got some green. It kind of got some style as well. I like it. I kind of like it. It's nice. This is our new buildings. They were built last year. They finished them, I believe, November or so last year. But they're built during COVID. Nothing that I want to go back to. I want to build the 3 Forgotten Goddess Temple, credit trillions of kisses, and House of the Dragon, and Rainbow People's Palace, and channel the aggression, you know. Sexuality also, you know, because if I would have repressed my lust, and not channel it and understanding the root of love, the deep roots of love, when I'm gonna go a bit spiritual, because I am a mystic, trying to understand the root core of desiring to love and be loved, right? And also for pleasure. So yeah. I had a little bit of a sexual lust. And I passed there, but I channeled it, you know, I smiled and I said, hey, you know, it's Rainbow Dragon, these are things which sometimes are hidden, you know. Sometimes subconsciously, we're not even aware. We tend to confuse a lot of evil with our own hidden fears and hidden lusts. You know, we tend to confuse evil, a lot of what we term as evil, with our lusts, hidden lusts and hidden fears. We tend to confuse a lot of what we call evil with our hidden lusts and fears. So a lot of things we call evil, we tend to confuse with our hidden fears and hidden lusts. So a lot of things we call evil, we tend to confuse with our own hidden lust and hidden fears. That's just my take on that. And Gonna get back to the DRT. It's just I don't want to discuss the DRT here. The DRT theory, because it was a lot of noise, so I got a lot of get out of a little bit of noise. I gotta get it for that drill, for that go, so that's all. They gotta get it on that. Sun shining, although there seems like the black gray clouds, and to that side also, it seems like only in the middle. See, black gray clouds to the, that's west. I'm going south. That's east. See, that's east. That's east. That's west. So we're gonna go a little bit on the sun, you know, in the sun, you know, where the sun is. Towards the sun, man. Piece of dust. I'm just a piece of dust, you know, in the sun. We gotta go get it in the sun, you know. So that's why I'm gonna wait to cross here to the side, until we get it on the other side. Super important. There we go. Now it's my turn. We're gonna get it on the go. Oh yeah, already hits good. In the sun we'll find a passion. In the sun we'll find a passion. In the sun we'll find our passion. In the sun we'll find our passion. In the sun we'll find our passion. So that's why we're gonna go in the sun, and we're gonna find a passion, and we're gonna go on the drill, you know. So, nice day. In the sun, meet you at the mountain, staying on the island. And I used to live here, nothing that I want to go back to, but I used to come here often. There used to be a dollar cinema there until 2019, but you know, I remember moving about 7 years ago, but before that I got blackouts, like rah. Blackouts of memory. Blackouts, you know. Just remember a surprise attack, then I was out, went to the hospital, dislocated shoulder, had COVID, survived. I know mostly my work during the past years. Mostly my work during the past years, you know. Mostly my work during the past years, you know. During the past years. Mostly my work during the past years, you know. My work during the past years mostly, you know. During the past years. Mostly my work during the past years. That's what it is with that. Mostly my work during the past years. That's what I remember mostly. That's what I remember mostly. During the past years. Past years. Anyways, should do a meditation here, you know. Imagine just to drink water here. We're gonna fill up the water. Imagine just to have running water here. All that work underneath, just to have potable water. So, gotta salute the workers who build it. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but
I know who's the worker.
hey, yeah, because we have running water, hey.
Sure.
So we're gonna hydrate, and that's a fellow citizen there who's gonna get us. So thank you, workers. Big loving, big hugging. Civilization is a privilege. Otherwise, we'd have to go to the river, eh?
Exactly.
And get infiltrated.
Sure.
Probably built. When do you think this was built?
We don't know.
Probably
Anytime.
20th century.
Probably, yeah.
I appreciate them. Whoever you guys were, thank you, love you.
That's it, man. You got it.
That's why I can drink water. Not just me, but all of you guys, whoever comes to this water fountain, well, got some metal, got some steel, got some cement, got some brains and muscles.
That's it. The name of the game.
You saw the game? You saw the game last night?
No, I don't watch. I don't watch.
Oh yeah. See you later, buddy.
Hey, have a good day.
Yeah. So that is the water fountain there. That was my fellow senior citizen who exchanged a few days and a few words, and he was nice and saying safe, secure there. And he's got those benches, you know. He's got to think about fellow senior citizens. I gotta send some love. I had some experience working with the young and the senior citizens as well. So he's there doing someone else is doing his business and to be safe and secure. And he laughed, and I give permission to people to laugh at me, my clumsiness, you know, Aspies. Those like myself have HFA, high functioning autism. We have weird mannerisms, you know. Sometimes we're kind of clumsy and have obsessive interests. We have echolalia. We tend to repeat things twice, three times. We tend to inspect objects really closely and look at things, certain details, which of course got a certain details on the left and on the right, and that's what it is for the XYZ, for the XYZ, and that's what it is for that. And beautiful park here. It needs a lot of renewal, and we gotta get it on that renewal for the XYZ, and that's what we gotta go doing on that, and we gotta get it on that hydration, you know. So we gotta get it on that hydration, and we gotta thank the workers for the children who build. The children gonna use it as children's and young teens, and you got the benches. So you got a lot of public works. So with my DRT, we're gonna be able to renew the infrastructure of the North American Collective. We're gonna be able to do a lot of renewal, and it starts with me. It started with my renaissance, my rebirth. See, you got another one here. Doesn't work. For safety, this has to be, I'm gonna have to wash my hand, but for safety, so that there's no children coming and utilizing this, because this could harm them. So maybe I give benefit of the doubt to all, but if a child comes and drinks water without attending by a parent, they could take this, they could chew it, and they could swallow. Worst case scenario, swallow it. 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 So please, this stuff like this, be careful. I don't know if it was left on purpose, but put it in the trash, okay? Next time, everybody deserves second chances, and that's the thing with high functioning autism, Asperger's. We try to always improve, and my security and liberty, and we always try to think in certain situational awareness. Of course, mine is always in the context of geopolitics for defense, security, and service. And you got those benches for defense, security, which needs a little bit of color, some blue, some white, and we got to get a little bit of hydration right here. Oh yeah. Ooh. So we're gonna discard it, and I will disinfect my hand with hand sanitizer, because I don't know who touched it, who utilizes it, and here it is in the trash, and bye bye. And now I'm just gonna disinfect my hand with my own disinfectant. Besides, I touched I don't know people's personal hygiene habits, and I'm a bit germophobic, obsessed a bit about germs, bacteria, microbes, germs, bacteria, microbes, and germs, bacteria, and microbes, germs, bacteria, and microbes, germs, bacteria, and microbes, about germs, 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 bacteria, microbes, about germs, and bacteria, microbes, and gotta get it on the go, get it on the go, get it on the go, and get it on the germs, bacteria, and microbes, and we gotta get on the sanitation, public sanitation, and in terms of the geopolitical context, whatever the geopolitics is, and we gotta meditate on that geopolitics 24/7 in terms of the sanitation procedures and all the civilization being a privilege. I'm gonna be utilizing a hand sanitizer, and got a little bit left. Got to put a little bit of when I get back, I got plenty left. So it's cold. 20 seconds. Let's go. 19, 18. It's cold. Disinfect. I just got to get a refill when I'm done. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 5. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. That's the disinfectant. Hands are disinfected, hands are disinfected. We gotta get that disinfecting, and that's it. We disinfected it. So we put in that work because I touched with the thumb, touched there, and then I picked up the other thing. So in terms of a geopolitical context, biological weapons exist, and with the interventions and the capabilities and the positions taken in the past 3.5 years, well, we made some nuclear powerfully with nuclear arms and biological bacteria. That is Russia. We made potential enemies by certain interventions, and of course support for Ukraine. And whatever I say, I know the whole victims, and I know, of course, the whole situation geopolitically. Fundamentally, my complex and my, of course, initiatives are for the North American collective civilizational complex. All who live here, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all who live in North America, as much as I can know. It doesn't matter at the end of the day would I take a position or not, because my protocols, initiatives are fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom is fundamentally for the North American Democratic Republic, for the North American Union, and the union of the North American civilizational complex. And those are beautiful flowers. Wow, there's nice flowers there with the pots, and I like bright flowers, and I always like it when I see in front of the house those bright yellow, purple, and flowers like that one. Those are nice yellow. So now I'm gonna have to get back to that DRT. See, beautiful yellow flowers, man. Back to the DRT is the only solution. D stands for death, R stands for refusion, T for theory. Keep in mind again that my theory includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union, and is exactly what was done in the European Union, is exactly what was done in the European Union. So the creation of the ECB in the 90s, that was the financial theory, financial monetary theory, which of course they had implemented in the European Union. Back in the 90s. So it includes a long time ago. So that inclusion, of course, is that they expanded their monetary. Everything that includes monetary financial theory, public financial theory, of course, is included. A lot of things are included when you create a monetary union, like they did in the European Union with the creation of the euro and the ECB, the European Central Bank, for the creation of the euro. So my theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory, also includes, my DRT includes monetary integration theory, which is the financial theory which was done in the European Union. That is what has to be understood fully. And what is the monetary integration theory? Is the creation of a common central bank to issue a common currency. So this is my DRT theory, explained as simply as I can, because another symptom of high functioning autism, aka Asperger's, is utilizing words which are words, phrases, and phraseology, and discourse which is too intellectual, too cosmopolitan, too academic, too verbose, or too scholarly, when things can be simplified in a more simple manner. So I'm going to try to be as simple as I can in these matters. As my DRT theory has to be implemented, we pay 46.5 billion in interest, just in interest on the public debt, just the interest. Not debt servicing is just the interest, not the principal, just the interest. It more than doubled in 3 years. There's no solution but my DRT theory. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My $10,000, your $10,000. So my $10,000. My $10,000, your $10,000, whatever the case may be. My $10,000, my $10,000, your $10,000, whatever the case may be. It is what it is, and we're gonna take my $10,000, your $10,000, whatever the case may be. My $10,000, your $10,000, whatever the case, whatever you have, whatever you have, whatever you have, and we're gonna of course convert it. We're gonna convert it to US dollars. I appreciate that letting me pass on the go, letting me pass on the go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Letting me pass on the go with that. So that is what it is with that. So we gotta get it on the go with that. So we gotta get it on the do. We gotta start ASAP. Starts with me here in the 2024, 2025, 2025, you know. That's what we're gonna get it on the do with that. So we're gonna get it on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta do on the do it now, you know. That's what we gotta do. We gotta implement it. The DRT, debt refusion theory. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. My 10,000, your 10,000, whatever the case may be. It includes, my 10,000 includes yours. You might have less, you might have more, but all the debt, coast to coast, public and private debt. Public and private debt, public and private debt. Public and private debt. All the public and the private debt. Public and private debt. All of it. Public and private debt. My 10,500. I got 10,000 to the RBC Royal Bank of Canada. I got $10,000 in debt to the RBC Royal Bank of Canada. So my 10,000, your 10,000, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. My 10,000, yours 10,000, all the debt, public and private. That number is going to be in the trillions, coast to coast, all the public-private debt of Canada, due to the fact that the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global trade, world finance, international economics. And of course, whatever the case may be, all the debt, public and private, public and private debt, all of it, all the public and the private debt, converted coast to coast, ocean to ocean, converted to US dollars, to US dollars, to US dollars. All the public and the private debt, converted to US dollars. So converted to US dollars. All that money, all the public-private debt converted to US dollars is going to be the initial money supply. The initial money supply. The initial money supply for a new bank. For a new bank. Whatever we call the bank. We can give it different names, I guess. Whatever we call the bank. North American Central Bank. Whatever the name is. Whatever the name is, we can call it whatever we got. You can give it North American Central Bank, North American Central Bank, North American Central Bank, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, all the money is going to be the initial money supply. All that money, it's going to be the initial money supply. All the money is going to be the initial money supply. All the debt, public and private, beautiful. Wow. I just love. Just yellow flowers. The DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. For the creation of the UE. Can I wait here? Pass across the street. Make sure I cross prudently, safely. Because you never know, the brakes can potentially malfunction. What if it presses the brake? It breaks. What if the citizen driver presses the accelerator instead of the brake? So those are things which can occur. Those are things which can occur, you know, in theory. I mean, in theory they can occur, right? So theoretically they can happen. That's why need to be prudent. They need to be prudent. So that's what they need. They need to be prudent. So they need to be prudent. I need to be prudent in the public. In the public sphere, the public domain. I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, which I don't have under the normal circumstances if I stay home. If I stay home in my underground dragon's lair, I do geopolitics, sports, and fitness, and dance, and that's basically geopolitics 24/7, dancing and sports and fitness. I watch sports, I do geopolitics, I rock and roll my trinity. And yes, sometimes I clean, I still gotta clean. I took the compost already because I didn't know one time I was gonna be back, but I took that compost, and we gotta get it to the compost, and gotta get it for the DRT, debt refusion theory. All public and private debt, we're gonna take it all, we're gonna convert it to US dollars, add it with the US dollars, but first Canada, coast to coast, all the public private debt, we're gonna convert it to US dollars, because the US dollar still is the top currency in the world. We're gonna add it with the United States dollar, we're gonna add it with the United States dollar, we're gonna add the United States dollar. We're gonna add it with the United States dollar. It's Canada first, US second, and then Mexico. Mexico's part of North America. Haiti. Cuba is a paradox. But then you got Jamaica. And all these islands in Canada, US, Mexico, they're part of the collective North American civilizational complex. They're part of North America. They're part of North America, right? So they're part of North America. So them being part of North America, it takes, of course, them to go together. So all the public-private debt, we're going to create a new central bank, the North American Central Bank, to issue a new currency based on the value of the US dollar, because that's why we convert all the public debt to the US dollar. We're going to create a new currency, a new money, new currency in circulation called the UE. U dot universal E dot exchange unit. The UE. U dot universal E dot exchange U dot. The UE. U dot universal E dot exchange unit. The UE. Based on the value of the US dollar, we're going to set an interest rate level of 10%. It could be below 3.33, 1.56, 7.18, 4.18. It could be 3.33, below 10% by principle. That's going to be the initial money supply for the UE. That's what money is. It's a universal exchange unit. In Europe, they call it the euro. They created a new currency, a new money in circulation. No longer the Deutsche Mark is no longer, the franc is no longer, the lira is no longer. So that's what we're going to do. It's not going to be Canadian dollar, US dollar, Mexican peso. We're going to do it, but we're going to create the UE, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit. So we're going to create the universal exchange unit, and we're going to create it based on the US dollar, the value of the US dollar. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to create the UE, the universal exchange unit. The UE. U dot universal E dot exchange unit, universal exchange unit. The UE, that's going to be the new money in circulation. The UE, universal exchange unit, based on the value of the US dollars. The UE. Universal exchange unit. The universal exchange unit. The UE. Universal exchange unit, based on the value of the US dollar. So all that money is going to be It's going to be public-private partnership. That's why I'm asking all my Scorpio brother Bill Gates. Or BlackRock and Blackstone are different. And it's Larry Fink of BlackRock. Not to be confused with Blackstone. It's BlackRock, Larry Fink, another Scorpio. Joe Biden is another Scorpio. It doesn't matter. Sagittarius, and Leos and Pisces, and all the astrological signs. We're going to implement the DRT, the debt refusion theory. It's the only solution. There's no other solution. I mean, you can argue all you want, but brothers and sisters, that's the only solution. Today, there's no other solution. Now where we are today. So not today. In today's world, there's no other solution. But my theory, the DRT, for the creation of the UE, So that's what it is, and that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to take all the public and the private debt. All that money is gonna be in the trillions. All that money is gonna finance a new central bank. Call it North American Central Bank to issue the currency called the UE. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange, U dot. The UE, the UE, the UE. The universal exchange unit. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange, U dot, unit. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange unit. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange unit. The UE. The universal exchange unit. The UE. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange, U dot, UE. The universal exchange unit. Based on biometrics, the hand, the voice are unique biometric identifiers. So the UE, the UE, the UE with a value of 10%. 10% maximum. We're going to put an interest rate level of 10% after. Of 10% after. 10%. So by after that is going to be only 10%, which is going to be put. There's not going to be able to be put less. To be more than 10. More than 10. So that's going to be by principle. That's going to be by principle. No more than 10%. No more than 10%. No more than 10%. That's going to be maximum. Maximum 10%. So we're going to go to the top of the mountain and see when we're going to... I'm curious when we're going to reach the mountain. And then we're going to head back to headquarters. So again, the DRT. The DRT, debt refusion theory. For the creation of the UE. For the creation of the UE. The D. The DRT. So once again, we're going to take all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. I might turn around if there's sun, I might turn around, but I guess because we go to the mountain often, maybe we could just turn around a bit maybe, and go. We were in my own neighborhood, now heading towards my new neighborhood now that I want to go back to, but the DRT is the only solution, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. The universal exchange unit. So that is the only solution, brothers and sisters. I mean, you can argue all you want, but at the end of the day, that is the only solution. That is the only solution. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. Turn my head left and right. Turn my head left and right. Turn my head left and right when I cross. Yeah, I gotta turn my head left and right because you never know, eh? You never know. Beautiful flowers. Oh, yeah. Is it sunny? Yeah, we're gonna see. Parallel. I can go towards the sun, I guess. We don't. To the mountain, I go often, but then when I come back, I'll be coming towards the sun. Maybe. Not sure. I'm not sure now. Yeah, because sunset is at 6:20, right? Maybe 5 minutes less. 5 days ago it was 6:20, so a minute every day. Now it's sunset is earlier and earlier, right? The days are decreasing until December 25th now. So the days are decreasing now. So back to the DRT. We're going to take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. I got $10,000 in debt. So my debt, your debt, our debt, all the debt. All. A-L-L. 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 All the debt. That money, we're going to convert all the public-private debt of Canada to US dollars, into US dollars. Into US dollars. So that money is going to be the foundation for a new central bank. For a new central bank. For a new central bank. Right? Whatever we call it, it doesn't matter. For a new central bank. And we're going to issue a new currency called the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. Based on biometrics preferably, but also like we have now. We're going to set an interest rate level of 10%, and with that money, it's not going to go to me, it's going to be for mass building. We can do a lot of public good, mass building, the infrastructure, the bridges, the infrastructure of the collective North American civilizational complex, building more aqueducts, building more hydroelectric dams, finance people to work out, train, exercise, finance people to work out, train, exercise, finance tourism, more than just those fives. Gonna be able to do a lot, we're gonna be able to do a lot, you know, to do a lot. So those are the things which we'll do with the money for the North American collective. Open up some mountains like Cheyenne, build 44 tunnel complexes in case of a thermonuclear war, tunnel complexes in case of a thermonuclear war, tunnel complexes in case of a thermonuclear war, the tunnels which we're gonna build like the Tokyo tunnels across North America, 44, across Quebec, Montreal. We can already have the inspiration from the underground city in case of nuclear war for the salvaging, the continuation of the North American civilizational collective, of the collective North American civilizational complex, of the North American civilizational complex, of the collective North American basically North America. But as a philosopher, I make the statement, and I know to be a fact, that North America, we constitute an emergent collective, an emergent collective civilizational complex, or a collective North American civilizational complex that's not totally divorced, but is distinct, right? So we have distinctions. Distinctions from Western civilization, but we're not divorced from Western civilization. So we're not divorced, right? We're not divorced, but we're distinct. East, west, actually, that's west. That's west. That's west. That's west, that's east. That's south. South, east, north. North is down. North is down. So north, west, south, east. So I'm going to take a little bit to decide here, make a little bit of decision, and do a little bit of meditation as I'm departing from my old neighborhood here. Queen Mary, Earnscliffe, Queen Mary. It's my old neighborhood. I used to shop a lot here. Do a lot of shopping here. And here we got to do on that XYZ, and we got to go do it on the XYZ. We got to do meditations, and always for the firefighters, construction workers, you know, butchers, bakers, nurses, always thinking about them now. Those who are making some coffee, those who are making us cheeseburgers, coffees, lunches, salads, preparation, the firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the train conductors, LOV to the train conductors, LOV to the warehouse workers, LOV to those grocery store clerks, LOV changing some diapers, LOV for the butchers, for the nurses, for the doctors, carpenters, electricians, North American Collective Workers Party. Let's get that North American Collective Workers Party. Let's get that DRT, Electrification TV formation of the UE. Should I decide to go to the mountain and switch to that first because we love that and maybe we should go the mountain now or tomorrow go to the mountain. You know what, I guess tomorrow we'll go to the mountain. I'm just gonna continue, maybe go south, leave south. We're gonna go, okay, let's just go south now. I decided. Because the mountain is that way, and we go after to the mountain, and it's something which we do from the mountain, and then we can get it on the mountain. Maybe we'll turn to get towards the mountain, but right now, just because of the wind, I guess I got a little bit of instruction. I want to get it, and of course, if I do turn, let's ask the Pope, my King, the Sun, to the mountain. Towards the mountain or not? Okay, towards the mountain it is. Towards the mountain, my second. I don't want to lose my hat. Gonna lose my hat. We're gonna go to the mountain, go all the way up, I guess. See if I can make it from my own neighborhood here in an hour. See if I can make it in an hour. See if I can make it in an hour. See if I can make it in an hour. All the way to the top, all the way to the top. And we're gonna switch to that French, but first I'm gonna cross a little bit here. It's getting chilly though. Maybe put on my jacket again. Let's go all the way now to the mountain, decided. I miss my mountain, my second home, you know. So now we're actually going east, right? We're going east, east. Gonna check a little bit of those pumpkins. Oh yeah, my fridge is full, so no, I can't buy nothing. Can't buy nothing. I gotta eat leftovers. I guess the son, the Pope confirmed we're going to the mountain. We're gonna try that coffee, Café Le Cheval. Okay, we're gonna go get a coffee on top of the mountain, and that's it. What time it is? 2:28. It's time to switch to that French a little bit, but here, okay, got a little bit of that. Gonna put my jacket on and march straight to that French. I guess time to put my jacket back on again, you know. So let's do it. Don't have gloves yet, but here in my own neighborhood, nothing that I want to go back to. My new neighborhood is that way, and I just remember leaving a moldy place and workout, train, exercise, and gotta get that rebirth, man. Oh, that's that rock and roll, man. That was that good rock and roll, you know? That was that good. North American rock and roll, that's what I do. 24/7. And I couldn't detect who that was singing, but it was a big on the bike, big on the bike. And we're gonna get it on the XYZ with that. And gotta get it for that rock and roll, man. Get it for that. Get it for that XYZ, you know? It's always something which we gotta be on the. I love rock and roll, so I love rock and roll. Play that black and white and rainbow. I create songs every day, you know. Every day I make a new song for the farmers, butchers, bakers, truckers, and gotta sing some of that rock and roll for the construction workers, you know. My old neighborhood, nothing that I want to go back. Like, I've triggered amnesia, so I have like blackouts of memories, you know? Blackouts. Just remember moving, you know? Moving and being hyper vigilant, you know? Vigilant. Maybe it was here that I got. I was no, it was somewhere further away. In Montreal. So I remember it was in the metro or something. In the metro. Something like that. Metro or something like that. Anyways, so I guess it's time to switch into that French, but I remember mostly the past 7+ years, my healing journey, my surviving COVID, and tens of thousands writing rock and roll songs every day, new songs every day, French and English, a little bit of Spanish because I love Spanish, and a little bit of Spanish, you know. I remember during COVID I had employments. I even worked at the part-time, you know, temp agencies and warehouse work, steel work. Steel was nice, man. I really loved that job. That was nice. But of course, with Asperger's, you know, Aspies are a bit neurodivergent, you know. So, neurodivergence is not a mental illness. Asperger's, aka HFA, high functioning autism, is not a mental illness, you know. It's confused and there's a lot of misunderstanding still, but it has been demystified a lot. Demystified a lot in the past years. Some people argue over whether using Asperger's or HFA, high functioning autism, well, it's the same thing. The symptoms break down to the same thing, and the symptoms are repetition of words, phrases, echolalia, being overly verbose, sophisticated in some intellectual propensities, and having obsessive interest, you know. That's what it is with that, and so many things we gotta get doing on that, you know, so. Vous avez vu le match hier? Vous avez-tu vu le match hier?
Le match, oui.
Vous avez vu? J'ai jamais vu ça de ma vie. 47 tirs au but, un blanchissage, Montembeau, il les a tous arrêtés. J'ai jamais vu ça de ma vie, là. T'as-tu déjà vu ça, toi?
Ouais, des fois, hein, c'est comme ça.
Mais I never saw that. J'en ai vu quand même, 33 tirs, 44 tirs, mais jamais.
Ouais, il y a des soirées.
47, là. 1-0 pour les Canadiens.
Ouais.
Puis ça n'arrêtait pas de tirer, il attaquait.
Il y a des fois, tu fais 10 tirs, 10 buts.
Dis ouais.
Non,
Ouais. Mais il était bon, le gardien, là. C'était. Hey, moi, j'ai jamais vu ça personnellement. J'ai vu 40 tirs, mais 47 tirs, puis aucun, ça rentrait pas, là. Bye, mon cher.
OK.
Bye, bon aussi. Bonne journée à vous aussi, pareillement. Vous m'avez fait un beau sourire. Fait que j'ai dit, je vais l'engager un peu dans la conversation. Conversation, bien sûr. Fait que je l'ai engagé. Je l'ai engagé dans la conversation, puis il m'a fait un beau sourire, il m'avait dit bonjour, puis là je me dirige vers la montagne, parti bien sûr de Post Canada. Pourquoi c'est le numéro 44, là? 44. C'est 44 qui est là, mais c'est des choses qu'il faut faire, bien sûr. Vous voyez, c'est des choses d'autisme hautement fonctionnel Asperger. C'est le numéro du bas, c'est 51, il y a un chiffre, puis en avant, ça a un chiffre. Ça, c'est le nombre de tours qu'ils ont fait. Regardez cette machine. Là. Je dois aller saluer les travailleurs publics avec toutes ces machines-là. Je me demande toujours comment ils ont été bâtis ou qu'ils l'ont construit pour le faire. Pour les grosses villes, bien sûr. Pour la fabrication de ces grosses machines d'outils pour nettoyer la grosse métropole de Montréal, tu sais. 2,5 millions, là. C'est comme un petit pays. Les choses qu'on prend, la civilisation, c'est un privilège. Là. La civilisation, c'est un privilège, tu sais. Tous les bâtiments, les travailleurs de construction, les travailleurs en construction, tout ça, les Hydro-Québec, les centrales. Maintenant, moi-même, je fais bien sûr une vidéo avec l'électricité qui ne pollue pas. C'est l'électricité renouvelable. Ça vient de l'Hydro-Québec, les centrales. Je suis parti du Post Canada, j'ai une entrevue, puis là, il faut que j'aille pour les empreintes digitales, mais je comprends ces choses-là. Mais ça prend de la sécurité puis de la liberté. Maintenant, je suis dans le public, j'ai des responsabilités additionnelles, j'en ai pas chez nous. Là. Ça prend de la... Tu sais, si j'aurais resté ici, j'aurais resté chez nous. J'aurais resté chez nous, j'aurais pas eu les mêmes responsabilités. Tu sais. J'aurais pas été chez nous, j'aurais pas fait les mêmes choses. Là. J'aurais pas eu les mêmes choses, tu sais. Les mêmes responsabilités quand même. Là. J'aurais resté chez nous, ça aurait pas été pareil, tu sais. Ça aurait pas été la même chose. C'est quoi ça? Plus d'efficacité énergétique, moins de gaspillage, énergie aussi. Mais ça, tu vois, à cause de l'Asperger, moi, je mets toutes ces choses-là dans un contexte géopolitique. Parce que moi, j'avais prévu la situation actuelle il y a 5 ans. Et quand je vois ça ici, énergie, puis je pense aux centrales d'Hydro-Québec, puis je suis à la marche, je mets quand même bien des choses vis-à-vis parallèlement à mon travail indépendant en tant qu'analyste théoricien en géopolitique. De la manière que je suis, Asperger, puis dragon arc-en-ciel, des fois monsieur, madame, des fois monsieur, madame, des fois monsieur, madame, des fois monsieur, madame. 50-50, mais ça fait juste une partie quand je discute de la politique, mais faut que vous tombez, laissez ça de côté quand même. Là. Il faut vous focusser sur la géopolitique. Le point que j'ai prévu la situation actuelle, en 2019, en octobre. Parce que le mois d'octobre, c'est le mois de la géopolitique chez nous. Fait que je fais toujours des analyses quotidiennement, mais en 2019, en octobre, j'avais prévu la situation actuelle. J'avais prévu la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment d'une manière générale, là, en octobre 2019. C'est ça que j'avais fait de la prédiction, c'est ça que j'avais prévu. Mais d'une manière générale, pas à chaque détail quand même. Mais c'est ça que je suis, puis je suis neurodivergent, c'est pas une maladie mentale, Asperger, le autisme hautement fonctionnel, je suis sur le spectre. Mais bien sûr, en étant sur le spectre, là, ça fait de moi-même que j'ai des intérêts obsessifs. Il me reste 5 secondes, 5 secondes, 5 secondes. Et bien sûr, pour le faire moi-même, pour le faire moi-même, pour le faire moi-même, pour le faire moi-même, pour le faire moi-même. C'est bien sûr ces choses-là qui me font, bien sûr. C'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr. Et je m'en vais faire, bien sûr, sur la montagne, sur la montagne, sur la montagne, sur la montagne, bien sûr, qu'il faut que j'aille. Et bien sûr, sur la montagne, qu'il faut que j'aille, qu'il faut que j'aille, qu'il faut que j'aille. Sur la montagne, des choses comme ça. Il faut que j'aille, puis il faut que je respecte les travailleurs publics. La civilisation, c'est un privilège. Fait qu'il faut moi-même que je fasse ces choses-là. Les jeunes, ben, sont contents. On va dans un coin, ils dansent. Qui dansent libre dans la rue. Leur sécurité, leur revenir, mais c'est toujours important de le mentionner. Puis l'amour de la jeunesse, salutation à la jeunesse. Les enfants, ça change des couches dans la garderie, ça fait de la nourriture, ça fait de la cuisine, puis ça danse, puis il y en a qui tombent en amour aux jeunes, puis je les encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. L'entraînement physique a été, sera ma médecine et thérapie de choix. Puis danse libre, danse libre, puis je danse pendant des heures, bien sûr. Ah ouais, ah, c'est que ça. Qui danse libre en Amérique du Nord, dans le collectif de civilisation nord-américain. La danse, c'est mon sport préféré, puis j'adore ça aller voir. Pour la danse, bien sûr, pour en faire, bien sûr, pour cette danse qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même. Puis aujourd'hui, on se dirige vers la montagne, on ne va pas à l'oratoire, mais je dois dire quand même de la gratitude, bien sûr, que ça fasse, bien sûr, c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut qu'on aille. Puis des fois, ben, on a des forces du subconscient. Mais je veux dire que dans le contexte géopolitique, moi c'est ça. En étant analyste, artiste, philosophe, analyste et théoricien en géopolitique qui a prévu la situation actuelle en 2019, d'une manière générale, là, pas à chaque détail, à chaque détail, là, pas à chaque détail, avec chaque détail, tu sais, à chaque détail, avec chaque détail. Laisse aller mon professeur à la danse. J'ai souffert, j'étais en dépression suicidaire. La dépression étant suicidaire, là, tu sais, ça a été un long chemin, là. Beaucoup de souffrance, j'étais en dépression suicidaire, puis j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. Cet événement dans ma vie, c'est qui ces 5-là? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C'est qui ces 5? Personnage, ben. Il va falloir que je m'informe, parce que je suis artiste aussi, mais même si j'ai l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, Asperger's, je crée des chansons rock'n'roll, c'est mon intérêt obsessif, la trinité des intérêts obsessifs pour moi-même, c'est la géopolitique 24/24, l'entraînement physique, la danse, c'est mon sport préféré, avec bien sûr le rock'n'roll, en dommage sans dommage, le soleil, sans manger des cuissons, du jambon, le soleil qui sort, ça sent bon. Des gens qui dansent, hey, c'est quelque chose que j'apprends, mais ça s'appelle le twerk. Mon grand-père, il dit, what, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Je dis, ben, c'est nouveau, c'est le twerk. Mon grand-père dit, c'est quoi, c'est nouveau, c'est le twerk. Mon grand-père s'est dit, c'est nouveau, c'est le twerk. Puis il essaye, puis il tombe. Il essaye, puis il tombe. Et bien sûr, c'est des choses comme ça qu'il faut que je fasse dans la vie. Fait que là, je m'en vais à la montagne, ma deuxième maison, mais puis je regarde des fois juste le ciel, puis les arbres, puis la nature, puis la civilisation ici qu'on a, là. Un gros... Une île de 2,5 millions. Ça, c'est l'autobus, le Lyon, 100% électrique. Quand je le vois, je médite, parce qu'on a besoin de faire des automobiles électriques. Électriques. C'est des choses comme ça. Puis pour le collectif nord-américain, pour le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, pour l'Empire, pour la jeunesse, pour les pompiers amour. Amour aux pompiers, amour aux boulangers, amour aux pompiers, amour aux boulangers, dans les fromages, les travailleurs en sécurité publique. Ah, ça griche dans les oreilles, ça. Ah, ça en fait un peu mal, ça. Pas grave, on continue, on s'en va à la montagne, mais hier, j'ai passé par l'oratoire, mais aujourd'hui, je vais juste aller prendre un café, bien sûr, là. Jusqu'en haut, bien sûr, là. Fait que ça a besoin d'un peu de couleur, là, tu sais, un peu de couleur, là, 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 un peu de couleur, là. Fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on y travaille ensemble. Moi-même, tu sais, avec l'Asperger's, ben, ça fait juste 45 mois, là. Je l'ai accepté, ça fait des années, ben des années, là. Comme on m'a dit, là, t'es sur le spectre de l'autisme, tu as l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, puis t'as l'Asperger's, t'as les symptômes, j'ai 93% des symptômes. Intérêt obsessif, écolélia, la répétition, m'approcher trop proche des gens, puis utiliser des mots trop sophistiqués, intellectuels, cosmopolites ou académiques dans une discussion. Ah, c'est beau, ça. Un beau choix des travailleurs publics que vous avez fait ici, mettant les fleurs. Ces fleurs jaunes, surtout. Hey, ça fait de l'embellissement, ça a besoin de la couleur comme ça, peut-être sur l'oratoire, non? Un peu gris à mon goût, mais je vous lave les pieds, il n'y a pas de problème, il n'y a pas de problème. Je peux laver les pieds, mais premièrement aux pompiers, aux boulangers, puis dans les garderies, les gardiens, ben, pas dans la garderie, là, mais ça c'est du travail, les gardiens, ils changent de couches, hein, ça devrait être un protocole, une initiative pour la sécurité, la défense nationale, l'armée canadienne, là. Je dis avec amour à mon concitoyen Bill Blair, là, qui mettent un protocole, ben, qui aille changer des couches avant de mettre un uniforme, parce que je veux rien savoir des mercenaires. C'est pas une mercenaire, il faut soit bien payé, soit un bon salaire, mais c'est pas des mercenaires, on n'est pas des mercenaires, puis pour la défense. Moi, tous mes protocoles initiatives sont pour la défense, puis bien sûr, dans mon appel, c'est pour un partenariat public-privé. Un partenariat public-privé, un partenariat public-privé. I love you too, je t'aime aussi, je pense que c'est quelqu'un que je viens de voir, qui me connaît, puis m'a salué, merci, mais c'est bien apprécié. Votre dragon arc-en-ciel, artiste, athlète et philosophe qui danse sur la belle province. Pas besoin de l'eau bénite, juste une bière à place. Puis je veux bâtir, construire, mais c'est les travailleurs en construction chez la grue, puis que je dois remercier, bien sûr. Fait que, bien sûr, je mets sur la table des bisous, des câlins et des châteaux de la construction, bien sûr, pour bâtir le temple de la déesse oubliée. Si je veux bâtir quelque chose dans cette vie maintenant, le temple de la déesse oubliée, le temple de la déesse oubliée, le temple de la déesse oubliée, avec la écarlate, la maison du dragon, la maison du dragon, la maison du dragon, écarlate rouge en pyramide, la maison écarlate du dragon. Et bien sûr, le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel. Le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel, le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel, le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel. C'est 3 bâtiments. Le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel. La pyramide de la maison du dragon. Le temple de la déesse. En voyant ceux qui font le nettoyage, je dois leur chanter une petite chanson. Ça nettoie les villes dans la belle province. Ça nettoie les villes dans la belle province. Et ça fait du ménage. Puis ceux qui ramassent les poubelles, là, les poubelles pour le recyclage, mais c'est des athlètes, s'il vous plaît, là. Hein? Les Canadiens. Réduisez les coûts. Réduisez les coûts. De 44,9%. 44,9%. Ça, c'est le coût que j'estime. C'est 44,9% le coût que j'estime moi-même. Le coût que j'estime moi-même que ça se ferait bon pour faire une réduction de 44,9%. Puis donner des billets, s'il vous plaît, aux travailleurs publics, les infirmières, les pompiers. C'est pas important de donner des billets aux pompiers, non, mais hier, c'était un match, j'ai jamais vu ça. 47 tirs. 47 tirs. C'est quelque chose, ça. Un blanchissage de mon tambour, s'il vous plaît, donner de la réduction donnée à charité, millionnaire, milliardaire, les sportifs de la LNH, le football américain. Merci pour le nettoyage. Bonne journée. Ça nettoie, ça nettoie, ça nettoie les villes, puis on les apprécie, on les apprécie, on les apprécie. Tout ça, c'est embellissement de la ville, l'embellissement de la ville, tu sais. Je dois apprécier ça, regarder ça, puis eux autres, ils nettoient. Moi, ben, j'étais en stress financier avec l'Asperger's, l'autisme, ça n'a pas été facile, mais j'apprécie ce travail intégral, tu sais. C'est tout un travail, ça, là. Tout un travail qu'ils font, là. Imaginez-vous nettoyer, faire le nettoyage de tout ça. Les travailleurs publics, c'est des athlètes aussi. C'est des athlètes, bien sûr. Des athlètes qui font, bien sûr, dans leur certains métiers, ben, c'est le travail public, bien sûr, qui ramasse les poubelles, le compostage, là. Le compostage, les poubelles, puis le recyclage, le compostage s'en vient ramasser tantôt chez nous. Il y avait de la poubelle aussi. Les travailleurs en construction qui ramassent les poubelles, qui ramassent le compostage. C'est toutes des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse, là. Les bancs, ça prend du renouveau, tout ça, c'est pour le collectif nord-américain, tu sais. Il faut que je m'en aille maintenant faire là. Comme vous voyez, ça c'est plein, ça va être vidé. C'est les travailleurs publics qui vont le faire, Charles. Ça prend du public, du privé. On ne peut pas se baser tout sur le public. On ne peut pas se baser tout sur le privé, là. Ça prend deux pour le tango. Moi, je fais un appel. Le partenariat public-privé, c'est ça mon appel. C'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé, là. Et ça, c'est beau, je trouve. J'ai pas de place, c'est petit où j'habite maintenant, mais j'ai de la gratitude, hein. Je m'en souviens, à cause de l'organisation rétrograde, j'ai des blackouts de mémoire, là. Je m'en souviens, j'étais attaqué par surprise quelque part à Montréal. Je m'en souviens avoir le bras disloqué, j'ai tombé comme à la tête, une frappe à la tête, puis j'étais allé à l'hôpital, j'ai eu mon propre épisode des pirates silice, comme dans le passé, dans l'histoire, avec Jules César, quand il a été kidnappé, puis bon, en tout cas, je ne vais pas en rentrer en détail, là, mais j'ai beaucoup de cicatrices, j'ai souffert, puis comment si j'ai traversé le Canada en 2017, en septembre, puis en août, j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. Puis quand j'ai traversé le Canada, de côte à côte, cet événement, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. J'ai eu un réveil, j'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide. 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 J'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide, mais avec les Québécois et les Canadiens, puis les Nord-Américains, puis je crois dans des réincarnations, des fois j'étais né homme-femme, là. Maintenant vous avez 50-50, mais en 2016, j'ai dit chez nous, ici, là, tellement de choses à voir puis à faire, tellement de choses à faire, à voir ici de la belle province, au Québec, à voir, à faire du rock'n'roll, là. Faire du travail, j'ai eu bien du travail, mais le problème, c'est que avec l'Asperger, les gens ils comprennent pas. Fait que nous, les Aspi, qui ont l'autisme morbide fonctionnel, soit l'Asperger, des fois, il faut nous le dire directement parce qu'on n'est pas conscient de ces choses de la société, qu'on parle trop, on parle des sujets que les gens, vous n'êtes pas intéressés, on se rapproche trop proche des gens. Durant la conversation, quand on discute, quand on parle, on se rapproche trop proche des gens. Fait que c'est ça l'Asperger's. C'est l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, c'est l'Asperger's. Donc c'est une condition de neurodivergence, c'est pas une maladie mentale. Ça fait que c'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique. C'est chic. Fait que ça fait qu'on est neurodivergent. Et on a des intérêts obsessifs. Mais comme moi-même, c'est la trinité d'intérêts obsessifs, la géopolitique, 24/24, l'entraînement physique, la danse c'est mon sport préféré, puis le rock'n'roll. Rock'n'roll, l'entraînement physique, soit la danse c'est mon sport préféré, je danse. Avec bien sûr la géopolitique. Puis j'ai prévu la situation actuelle car le mois d'octobre, c'est l'année pour la géopolitique chez nous. Fait que je fais toujours des révisions. Puis ces révisions-là, ça va du 20e siècle, là, ça retourne en arrière puis en avant. Et ça retourne, puis je retourne, puis je m'en vais en arrière, puis je m'en vais encore en dedans. Puis j'ai prévu en 2019, d'une façon, manière généralement parlant, pas à chaque détail, là, mais j'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant en 2019. Et j'avais conclu, ma conclusion, c'est qu'à cause du fait qu'il n'y a pas de résolution qui a eu lieu du 20e siècle, des conflits, ils vont avoir une continuité, ils vont continuer. il va y avoir une continuité, bien sûr. Il va y avoir une continuité. Fait que j'avais conclu qu'il y aura une continuité, bien sûr. Une continuité de ces conflits, bien sûr, qui n'ont pas été résolus du 20e siècle, du 20e siècle, du 20e siècle, du 20e siècle, du 20e siècle. Ben, il y aura une continuité, bien sûr. Puis, c'est ça qui arrive maintenant. Qu'est-ce qui arrive en Ukraine avec la Russie? C'est des conflits qui datent du 20e siècle, qui n'ont pas été capables de les régler d'une manière pacifique. Ça a repris, puis c'est ça que j'avais conclu, Et bien sûr, une possibilité de Taïwan, puis Moyen-Orient, mais c'est ça qui arrive, oui. Et c'est ça qui arrive, mes chers. Une continuité du 20e siècle. Ils n'ont pas été capables de résoudre leurs problèmes du 20e siècle. C'est ça qui arrive. Et je dois admirer les travailleurs en construction qui ont bâti ces grosses. Vous voyez, il faut que je fasse la gestion de mon symptôme, mais des fois je regarde trop longtemps les gens ou les choses. On a tendance, les aspects qui ont l'autisme, à fixer des choses pendant plus que le niveau de confort de quelqu'un, mais on n'a pas les consciences les mêmes que ceux qui sont neurotypiques. Fait qu'on est neurodivergent. Dans le milieu de travail, il faut connaître ça. Puis on est bon, par exemple, en géopolitique. Vous voulez sur la table de la géopolitique, là? Ben, c'est une table chère. Hein? C'est la table de votre dragon arc-en-ciel qui adore danser. Puis, j'aime ça la comédie puis l'amour. Mais je joue la défense. Je suis hyper vigilant à cause de les trompes, la violence que j'ai vécue. Puis la trompe, tout ça. Fait que c'est toutes ces choses-là, la trompe et toutes ces choses-là. Mais la trompe que j'ai vécu moi-même. Fait que c'est des choses moi-même que je dois faire la gestion, là, Je dois faire moi-même la gestion. Fait que c'est des choses comme ça dans la vie. Puis la géopolitique, là, c'est mon intérêt obsessif. Puis je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique. Puis j'ai la preuve pour ce que je veux dire. J'ai la preuve pour ça, j'ai la preuve. J'ai prévu la situation actuelle en 2019, en octobre 2019. J'ai la preuve parce que j'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, puis je viens de faire une révision des photos. Je viens de faire une révision des vidéos. Puis c'était en octobre 2019, le 23 octobre, que j'avais mis la vidéo en ligne. Puis j'avais discuté de mon scénario, dans le fond, puis basé sur mon analyse. Fait que j'avais conclu qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale, dans d'autres mots, une troisième guerre mondiale, qu'il y aura une utilisation des bombes, des armes biologiques. La question des bombes nucléaires, j'ai mis 50-50. Fait que j'ai mis comme un point d'interrogation. Mais maintenant, c'est possible. Mais généralement parlant, pour faire un résumé de l'analyse, c'est que dû au fait que certains pays, régions, puis nations-États, puis civilisations n'ont pas été capables de résoudre leurs problèmes, il y aura une continuité dans le 21e siècle. Maintenant, c'est ça qui arrive. Maintenant, qu'est-ce que j'appelle l'Amérique du Nord, ou en tant que philosophe, le grand collectif de civilisation de l'Amérique du Nord, parce que Québécois, Québécoises, Canadiens, Nord-Américains, puis ici c'est chez nous, dans cette vie, puis dans une autre. J'ai pas vécu ailleurs, j'ai pas vécu en Russie, j'ai pas vécu en Ukraine, j'ai pas vécu au Moyen-Orient, j'ai pas vécu en Chine, à Taïwan, pour dire d'une autre manière, juste parce que j'apprends l'apprentissage des discours, des publications de Xi Jinping, des discours de Poutine et ces choses-là, de la géopolitique. Ben, de la gauche, la droite, puis le centre, puis je suis centriste universel révolutionnaire avec mes propres philosophies, puis initiatives, que j'y crois que c'est la solution en ce moment. La trinité de théorie, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie d'intégration citoyenne avec la théorie de la fusion démocratique. C'est ces choses-là qu'il faut bien sûr faire. C'est des choses que moi-même, je suis en constance, méditation de la géopolitique, moi-même. C'est une constante méditation. Je vois vis-à-vis que j'étais au Poste Canada pour l'emploi, puis je dois retourner pour les empreintes digitales. Je dois retourner pour les empreintes digitales. C'est fondamentalement, j'ai mis dans le contexte de géopolitique aussi, dans le cas qu'on se fasse attaquer par certains pays, comme on a pris des décisions pour, c'est pas moi-même, mais comme je dis toujours, moi en tant que président de la Fédération canadienne, j'aurais fait appel à un vote. Là. Je dis, écoutez, c'est une situation sans précédent, c'est ça que je connais, c'est ça qu'on sait, puis on fait un référendum, on s'implique, ou on s'implique pas, on reste neutre. J'aurais fait un référendum, mais c'est sûr qu'on a une alliance avec l'OTAN et tout ça, ben ça c'est pas si simple que ça dans le fond. Mais quand même, par juste le principe, j'aurais fait un vote. Comme quand je dis pour l'armée du dragon nord-américain de sécurité puis de service puis de défense, moi mes protocoles initiatives sont seulement pour la défense. Défense, de côte à côte. Comme au football américain que j'aime bien, mais je serais pour vous défendre comme je défendrais Purdy puis Brady de côte à côte. Tu sais, de côte à côte pour la défense. Mais parce que j'ai jamais vécu ailleurs, même si je me prononce avec des choses plus intellectuelles, plus sophistiquées, bien sûr, plus sophistiqué de temps en temps, tu sais, plus sophistiqué, et bien, ouais, et bien sûr, le soleil qui sort, là, c'est wow, c'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr, c'est des choses comme ça, c'est le soleil qui sort, je me tasse par là. J'admire les travailleurs en construction. Quand je vois des bâtiments comme ça, je me demande toujours comment ils ont été bâtis, construits, quand, puis j'admire les grues, j'étais un partisan des grues, puis hey, je vous fais appel, je crédite des lavages de pieds, des millions de bisous, des châteaux et des câlins pour construire, bâtir. Les 3 que je veux bâtir ici, Montréal en Amérique du Nord, dans le collectif nord-américain, le temple de la déesse oubliée, la maison du dragon en écarlate rouge, le temple de la déesse oubliée, la maison en écarlate, pyramide, la pyramide, et bien sûr, avec le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel, la maison du dragon rouge écarlate. Écarlate, c'est rouge, là, mais c'est un couleur plus vive, rouge. Fait que c'est ça que je veux bâtir moi-même. C'est toi. Chose que je veux bâtir moi-même. C'est ça que je veux bâtir moi-même. Donc, encore une fois, ben, je n'ai pas dit, mais je dois dire ma gratitude, même si je vis un stress financier, là, j'ai 10 000 de dettes, mais j'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café, j'ai du thé, mais j'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai du café, j'ai du thé, puis j'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé du café, puis je m'entraîne, je m'en vais à la montagne, ma deuxième maison, mais je vis avec mes cicatrices, je vis avec avoir survécu la COVID, je vis avec l'amnésie rétrograde, mais le blackout de mémoire, là, puis aujourd'hui, pour demain, j'ai l'espoir pour demain, quand je vois des gens qui s'aiment, qui s'embrassent la montagne, j'entends que les joueurs de la Ligue nationale de hockey vont réduire les billets pour 44,9%, et bien sûr pour donner des billets gratuits aux pompiers, amour aux pompiers, aux boulangers dans les boulangeries, ben, tous ceux qui travaillent dans le public, qui ramassent les poubelles à chaque semaine, ce service de ramassage de sanitation publique de l'Amérique du Nord, qui ramassent les poubelles, et bien sûr. What a game yesterday, eh?
I know.
I saw you with the Habs. Did you guys? I never saw that.
Yeah.
47 shots on goal.
Yeah.
I never saw that in my life.
Oh no?
Never. I saw 44.
All right.
44. Montembeau, what a shutout. 47, man. 47 saves. Yeah. What a game, guys. Bye bye. Love you guys. En tout cas, parce qu'ils portaient le chemin des Canadiens, puis c'était comme 47 buts, 47 tirs, 47 tirs, 0 but. Un blanchissage comme ça, j'ai jamais vu. J'ai vu 44, mais 47, j'ai jamais vu ça, moi. J'ai jamais vu ça. J'ai jamais vu ça, moi-même, j'ai jamais vu ça. Mais j'en ai vu des 44, j'en ai vu. 47, j'ai jamais vu ça. Fait qu'on continue. La game donnée, s'il vous plaît, réduire toute la Ligue nationale de hockey, la Ligue de football américain, la Ligue de basketball, la Ligue majeure de baseball, millionnaires, milliardaires. Il y en a qui sont milliardaires, les propriétaires. S'il vous plaît, réduire tout de suite de 44,9%. C'est ça mon estimation depuis que j'ai eu la COVID en février 2020. Février-mars, ça va faire 5 ans dans 5 mois. Dans 5 mois, ça va faire 5 ans. Fait que c'est ça, j'estime que ça soit le coût pour être principal, pour que la majorité des gens peuvent se le permettre. Puis bien sûr, donner des billets gratuits aux pompiers. Aux pompiers, il faut leur donner des billets gratuits aux pompiers. Il faut leur donner des billets gratuits à certains individus qui travaillent dans certaines places, comme les travailleurs publics. À chaque semaine, ça ramasse des poubelles, ça ramasse du compostage, ça ramasse des poubelles, ça ramasse le compostage, ça ramasse les poubelles dans les grosses machines. Tu sais? Passez par ici, tournez ma tête de la gauche à droite, puis on va prendre ce petit chemin ici. Il y a un petit chemin, et bien sûr, la gratitude moi-même. J'ai payé mon loyer pour le mois d'octobre. Ben, on est le 10 octobre. Le mois d'octobre, j'ai payé mon loyer. J'ai du café, j'ai du thé, puis je suis ici. Je dois saluer les forces armées canadiennes avec amour du rock'n'roll. J'aimerais peinturer ça d'une couleur rouge, puis bien sûr, j'encourage les gens à faire l'entraînement physique, puis les ambulanciers, amour, puis aux pompiers, aux camionneurs. On doit les aimer, puis soyez prudents, tournez la tête de la gauche à droite. Buvez pas puis conduisez. Fumez pas du pot non plus. Si faites un effort, rendez-vous chez vous. Attendez, après avoir bu ou consommé. Soyez prudents sur la route. Je sais que c'est un stress financier. C'est pour ça que je demande l'augmentation des salaires un peu. Puis je suis convaincu que ma TRD, c'est la solution en ce moment, que je vais discuter bien sûr, mais avant je dois saluer encore nos forces armées canadiennes parce que ça c'est la caserne, puis je conseille tous et toutes d'essayer de faire mon entraînement physique. D'essayer de faire mon entraînement physique. Je l'ai conçu en 2019 pour y aller justement avec une situation d'urgence, de crise, de 3e guerre mondiale, en 2019 en octobre. Wow! Et les pelles jaunes. Fait quand je l'ai conçu pour y aller avec cet événement-là. J'ai fait de la performance, plus que 372 moi-même. Plus que 372. Mais bon, avant que je dise, je dois saluer puis ceux qui mettent l'uniforme, mais je dois dire qu'il faut faire l'implémentation d'un nouveau protocole. Ce protocole, avec amour, j'ai dit à mon frère citoyen Bill Blair, quelqu'un qui porte du rouge, que j'aime, le dragon arc-en-ciel a dit un nouveau protocole pour la défense nationale, que vous allez changer des couches dans les garderies. C'est quoi? C'est pour la défense nationale. Je veux rien savoir des mercenaires. Les mercenaires qui restent, qui traversent pas l'Atlantique, qui traversent pas le Pacifique, les mercenaires qui viennent pas nous voir danser, faire l'amour avec nous. Les armées alliées seulement, mais les mercenaires, c'est pour l'argent. Je veux rien savoir. Si vous voulez de la défense nationale, c'est sûr qu'il faut qu'ils soient bien salariés. Il faut qu'il y ait un beau salaire. Mais bien sûr, il faut qu'ils soient bien, puis il faut avoir un esprit de corps. Pour ça, il faut aller changer les couches. On défend les petits, les jeunes. Il faut aller changer les couches dans les garderies, puis bien sûr dans les CHSLD aussi. Les aînés qui ont bâti l'Amérique du Nord, ça prend un peu de la vieille école du 20e siècle. On se rencontre dans le 21e. En Amérique du Nord, on a fait des grands compromis. le grand compromis linguistique, le grand compromis du français. On continue à le faire au quotidien, on se donne, on met ça à table. Que j'en discute des lois et tout ça, ben juste moi-même, je le fais par l'art, puis j'encourage, faites un effort. Si vous ne parlez pas anglais, faites un effort. Mon premier ministre, mes deux premiers ministres, mon oncle Legault, ben, je suis pas toujours avec lui d'accord. 50-50, des fois 70-30, 90-10, des fois l'envers 10-90, des fois 40-60. Par cas, mais il y a une certaine sagesse aussi, que moi je possède pas. Moi j'ai une certaine sagesse peut-être, en géopolitique à 100%, parce que j'avais prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant, d'une manière générale, là. En géopolitique, je connais, c'est mon intérêt obsessif, mais je peux en discuter une vidéo de 3 heures, juste aller au 20e siècle, la guerre froide, les événements, la guerre du terrorisme, tout ça. C'est ça mon intérêt obsessif. La géopolitique, la danse, l'entraînement, soit l'entraînement physique, le sport, la danse est mon sport préféré. La géopolitique, le sport et le rock and roll. C'est des frustrations, j'ai vécu. Là, en dépression suicidaire. Traversé le Canada, j'ai fait un gros esprit de corps. J'ai dit, bon, ma famille au Québec, je vous défendrai, la famille québécoise. Des fois, on est dysfonctionnels. Tous ceux qui viennent habiter avec nous, là, qui viennent devenir des Nord-Américains, on constitue un complexe, un collectif de civilisation de l'Amérique du Nord, émergent. On n'est pas divorcés, mais on a des distinctions avec l'Occident. Fait que ça, c'est à retenir. On n'est pas divorcés, mais on a des distinctions avec l'Occident. On n'est pas divorcés, mais on a des distinctions. On constitue un collectif émergent qui a commencé à émerger après la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. On a fait le grand compromis linguistique. On est 10 millions de Québécois. Moi-même, Québécois, Canadiens, Nord-Américains, on est 10 millions. C'est chez nous ici. Mais personnellement, je ne me considère pas un membre d'une diaspora, mais j'ai vécu dans d'autres vies, des réincarnations. J'étais né québécoise puis québécois quand j'ai rencontré Louis XVI. J'ai fait le bras de fer, puis pendant 7 ans, j'ai pas pu utiliser mon bras. Dans une autre vie, j'ai servi 46 mois dans la SPVM, police de Montréal. J'ai servi aussi dans la GRC. J'étais né femme aussi dans l'Empire romain, prêtresse de la déesse. Puis bien sûr, j'étais né aussi, bien sûr, dans une vie où j'étais servante. J'étais en train de servir. Bien sûr, je servais les coureurs de bois. Je faisais de la nourriture. Je faisais la préparation des mets. Je faisais la préparation des mets, certains mets, bien sûr. Fait que c'est des choses comme ça qu'il faut que je fasse. Bien sûr, ici, faites attention, hein. Regardez ça, c'est pour ça que je vous avise. Faites attention, il y a des branches qui peuvent tomber sur la tête. Des branches, le soleil, le pape. Ah, God, les branches qui tombent sur la tête, il faut faire attention, ça craque. Les arbres, après la tonnerre, la tempête, ils deviennent fragiles. Fait que si vous faites un petit conseil, si vous rentrez dans la forêt, sur la montagne, on est sur le Mont-Royal au milieu de la métropole de Montréal. Faites attention pour que ça tombe sur vous, là. Je le dis souvent à des gens, parce que j'ai vécu moi-même 5 fois déjà cette année que ça a tombé. C'était pas vraiment proche de moi, mais check. Voilà la preuve, là, ça tombe. Peut tomber, soyez prudent, là. C'est après une question de sécurité, là. C'est pas une chose de... mais je veux vous voir en santé, je préfère vous voir faire l'amour, danser, donner à charité, puis voir un show de Céline peut-être bientôt aussi, que moi aussi j'aimerais ça voir, puis j'aimerais ça que les Canadiens gagnent la coupe, là, au moins une fois dans les 5 prochaines années, là, cette année, ça a bien commencé, ça a bien commencé. 1-0, par exemple, ça n'a pas été très offensif, mais la défense, là, Montembeault, waouh. Je sais pas quel salaire qu'il y a, mais donnez 10%. Je fais des appels de la charité, blablabla. Ben, je peux en parler. Hein, il faut mettre en pratique les choses. L'entraînement physique. L'agression, ben, il faut faire la maîtrise, comme je disais tantôt, mais, tu sais, moi, je suis androgyne, pansexuel, là, ma sexualité est un peu bizarre, là, j'aime ça, le sadomasochisme, et me faire fouetter, puis, je le dis ouvertement, j'ai pas besoin que les chefs russes de la Russie m'espionnent, qui restent là-bas, qui traversent pas l'océan, la Chine qui traverse pas l'océan, mais j'aime ça, le sadomasochisme, j'aime ça me faire, on va dire, dégrader un peu, tout ça, c'est des choses, des pratiques de la sadomasochisme, là, par, ben, c'est ça, je suis pansexuel, androgyne, 50-50. Dans d'autres vies, j'étais né homme-femme. Dans certaines vies, j'étais né femme. Dans certaines vies, j'étais né homme. Dans les légions de Rome, on est dans la province, il faut que ça danse. Tape-moi des mains et des pieds que je commence à vous parler en latin. Pas besoin d'un eau bénite. C'est du rock'n'roll, personne le fait, comme le dragon en arc-en-ciel. Faut-tu que je dise, s'il vous plaît, les Post-Canada, vous voyez? Le rock'n'roll, oubliez ça. Il n'y a pas de rock'n'roll comme le dragon arc-en-ciel. Ben oui, mais je veux pas qu'il m'explique, je veux pas me chantager avec ça, que j'aime ça me faire, tu sais, dans ma vie privée, là, mais c'est un peu adulte, ben si vous regardez ça, je mets toujours 18 ans et plus dans mes vidéos, mais moi j'aime ça me faire, tu sais, comme des scénarios de dégradation un peu, là, des âges, de me crier dessus, me faire crier dessus, puis la punition, me faire punir, bien sûr, par certaines choses, mais c'est des choses bien sûr que moi j'aime ça, fait que c'est des choses bien sûr que moi j'aime ça, fait que c'est des choses bien sûr que il faut que je fasse, bien sûr, dans ces choses-là. Fait que là, je vais discuter de la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique théorie, c'est la seule et unique théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD. La TRD. La TRD. J'aimerais ça peinturer les bains ici. J'aimerais ça peinturer les bains ici. Peinturer les bains, une belle couleur, une belle couleur, une belle couleur. Quelque chose de rouge, là. Quelque chose de bleu, quelque chose de rouge, de bleu. Mettre de la couleur, amenez-moi les pinceaux. Ah oui, ma tante. Gotta get it on the go, you know. So, gotta get it on the go. Ma tante, qui est là, bien sûr, pour en faire de la peinture là-bas, pour faire de la peinture rouge, bleu ou quelque chose. J'aime ça au gris, là. Je voulais tellement les peinturer. Juste amenez-moi la permission, la peinture, les pinceaux. Ben c'est ça. Pinceau. La pinceau. Les pinceaux, bien sûr, pinceau. Les pinceaux. La nourriture, bien sûr. Ben, pas beaucoup de nourriture, juste du fromage. Et bien sûr, je vais discuter de la TRD. Fait que j'aimerais ça peinturer les bains ici. Une belle couleur, quelque chose, là. Je sais pas. Emmenez-moi les peintures de la permission, là. Puis moi, je vais le faire avec amour. Mais ma tante la mairesse, là. Ma tante la mairesse. Ma tante la mairesse. Pour en peinturer ces bancs-là, j'aimerais tellement ça faire du nettoyage ici. Puis bien sûr, peinture. C'est comme ma tante. S'il vous plaît, amenez-moi la peinture, la permission, puis... Ah, je vais peinturer. Oh, vous avez fait des dégâts, c'est pas bon. Bon, j'ai pas de sac pour les ramasser, là, mais j'aimerais ça quand même. C'est bien sûr. J'aimerais ça faire ces choses-là. Faire, mettre le pinceau, là, quelque chose de rouge, bleu, blanc, rouge, bleu, blanc. Et y a-t-il des nuages? Je vois quand même des nuages, mais c'est des choses bien sûr qu'il faut qu'on fasse. C'est des choses bien sûr que moi-même, tu sais, je fais des choses, ben, je suis financièrement stressé. Là. Je vis un stress financier, mais je suis hyper vigilant. J'ai l'Asperger, j'ai l'autisme monofonctionnel. Je vis avec mes cicatrices. Je suis androgène et pansexuel, mais car et tout à fait, comme je disais tantôt, même quand je suis allé au Poste Canada, j'ai mis dans le contexte de la géopolitique, tous les événements, puis ça fait 156 ans que quand le Poste Canada a été fondé, ça fait 156 ans. 156 ans qui ont été fondés, puis je mets ça dans un contexte géopolitique. Ben, pour la sécurité, pour le service de la défense, puis là, je vais vous discuter de la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, mes chers. Il n'a pas d'autre solution. Où qu'on est rendu maintenant, il n'a pas d'autre solution. Parce que là, on paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. Vous avez bien entendu ça, c'est 46,5 milliards. 46,5 milliards. 46,5 milliards, là. C'est un chiffre énorme. C'est un chiffre énorme, là. Chiffre énorme, ça. Chiffre énorme. Mais la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est bien sûr ces choses-là. Il faut que je fasse ça ici. Et je me rends ici, bien sûr. Et c'est pour faire, bien sûr, ben, mon centrisme. Être androgène, mais je suis pour la défense, mais je ne tourne pas la joue que je sois vengé, c'est faux comme un fou. Je ne tourne pas la joue comme une fou, comme une folle. La prêtresse, dragon cassé, vous aime, vous chantez la belle province, vous ça danse les mains dans les arbres, le bleu ciel. Faites attention, pas ça tombe des arbres. Et je suis pour la défense, mais je ne tourne pas la joue, je vous donne rien à personne. Je suis prêt pour l'amour, puis les affaires, pour la belle province de la renaissance du collectif de l'Américain du Nord. Mais, j'invoque. C'est faux vengeance, c'est pour la TRD. La TRD, c'est la seule et unique théorie maintenant. Pour faire l'implémentation, il faut que je vous dise, bien sûr, c'est T pour théorie, R pour refusion de la dette. Vu qu'on paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique, on paye cette année 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. On paye 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. C'est un chiffre énorme qu'on paye pour et sur la dette publique. Mes chers Québécois et Québécoises, il n'y a pas de solution comme la TRD, je vous l'explique le plus simplement possible. Et en 2020-2021, on payait 20,3 milliards, des milliards, ça en 9 zéros. 20,3 x 2, ça aurait été 40,6, c'est 46,5. 46,5, c'est 46 000 millions. C'était 20,3 x 2, c'est 40,6. 40,6, c'est 40,6. C'est rendu, le soleil, c'est 46,5 milliards, c'est 46,5 milliards, c'est 46,5 milliards, c'est 46 000 millions. Fait que la TRD, qui inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire, c'est la seule et unique solution en ce moment où on est rendu à payer tellement d'intérêts sur la dette, seulement d'intérêts pour la dette publique. Ça a plus que doublé, c'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, que je l'ai eu moi-même, c'est devenu que c'est plus que le double. Donc, le plus simplement possible, je vous l'explique. Puis ma TRD, qui est pour T, théorie, R, refusion de la dette, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. Qu'est-ce que c'est la théorie d'intégration monétaire? C'est exactement ce qu'on fait dans la communauté européenne. Les autres, les Allemands, ils ont laissé faire leur banque centrale. Les Allemands, ils ont laissé faire leur banque centrale. Ils ont détruit leur monnaie. Les Italiens aussi, les Français aussi. Puis ils ont fait la création des années 80 d'une monnaie commune. La communauté européenne s'est mis ensemble. Puis ils ont fait la création de la communauté européenne d'une nouvelle monnaie. Puis d'une nouvelle banque centrale. Ils ont créé une banque centrale. Ils ont fait de la création d'une banque banque centrale. Oui, exactement. Ils ont fait la création d'une banque centrale, là, dans la communauté européenne. Fait que MATRD, ça contient cette théorie d'intégration monétaire, mais on va faire exactement avec l'intégration de cette théorie financière que les Européens ont faite. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette, mon 10 000 à la Banque Royale du Canada, j'ai 10 000 $ de dette, ma dette, votre dette, la tienne, la mienne, la vôtre, la nôtre. Toute cette dette-là, ça va être à peu près mon 10 000 avec le tien, toute la dette publique-privée, on va ramasser ensemble, on va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis, on va faire l'addition avec les États-Unis, puis bien sûr les autres pays du collectif nord-américain, Canada premièrement, avec ça deuxièmement avec les États-Unis, avec troisièmement avec l'Amérique du Nord, puis s'ils veulent transatlantique avec l'OTAN, les pays membres de l'OTAN. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée, ça va être la fondation d'argent pour une nouvelle banque. On va faire la création d'une nouvelle banque centrale, la Banque centrale de l'Amérique du Nord, pour la création, puis on va faire une nouvelle monnaie d'échange. Oui, basée sur la valeur du dollar américain. C'est pour ça qu'on convertit toute la dette publique-privée canadienne dans le dollar des États-Unis. On va faire la création de UI. C'est la solution, c'est la table, il n'y a pas de solution. Oui. En anglais, c'est pareil, fait qu'on ne s'ostinera pas. En anglais, c'est pareil, on ne s'ostinera pas. U point, unité. Un point, échange, U point universel. U point, unité, un point, échange universel. U point, unité, un point, échange universel. Oui, basé avec un 10% d'intérêt. Avec cet argent-là, on va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure du collectif nord-américain, rebâtir d'autres centrales, financer les gens à l'entraînement physique, faire bien pour le public, pour le tourisme, pour la santé, bien sûr. Puis on va faire bien d'autres biens, bien sûr, pour la défense, la sécurité, pour le service, l'armée du dragon, la déesse qui danse. Soutenez le rêve, qui est pour un partenariat public-privé pour l'Amérique du Nord.